know that we're not under the influence of some mind control person is this. It's not a phrase anymore.
No, it's just like
With that sound.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So, hi.
Hello.
Welcome to Flavor Text's some number nth session of New Dawn University.
Y equals mx plus b.
Does one of the
Another
players
Tommy's
want to
that.
give me a recap for one of these spicy nickels?
Why is the nickel spicy?
Because we're flavor text.
I got Isaac throwing a hand up, and I'm gonna offer it to Isaac or Rin first because you both have 2 hero points to start the night.
I yelled at a bunch of people. That was my session.
Yeah, but a recap of last session.
That was it.
Okay. Unexpected field trip. They took us to jail. They,
We went to jail.
well, we were all panicking, given that we were thinking that there was going to be a jailbreak and we were going to do stuff. Nothing bad happened.
That we know of.
That we know of, yeah.
The camera glitched and I don't trust it.
Simon Cowell went in and he interviewed bad guys.
Simon Cowell.
Virgil Cowell.
He used the same exact questions that we did for our hero exam,
Mm-hmm.
except just swapping out the word hero for the word villain to indicate of the paper-thin differentiation between hero and villain.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a question of what they want and what they value.
Mhm.
We came back, did some pretty much just, I think there's some lunch shenanigans. There wasn't really any major class stuff. And then we had a little impromptu get-together on the outside of the girls' dorm.
Because Isaac wanted to go to a girls' dorm.
And then Ares asked out Allie, which is maybe kind of in the title or in the description twice.
If this was a video game, we're smashing A until that moment starts.
Yeah.
And then you're smashing. Hey.
Hey.
I'm 14!
Hey, we
Cat
stop the jokes the moment we say those words.
Yep.
That's fair. That's fair.
And after that we studied, got busted by Kurt, not Court. Kurt, who was like, I saw you doing the security footage. Somebody stole information. I think there's a conspiracy. And well, yeah, this is a conspiracy.
Really correct.
A conspiracy to keep y'all safe. Oh, and he's like, okay, I guess I'll help or something like that. And Rin yelled at him a bunch.
I yelled at him a bunch, and then he said, "Yeah, I'll help." And then I continued yelling at him.
Yeah,
He
Get
was
it right.
trying to help while you were yelling at him.
Objectively true.
His help boiled down to keep doing what you're doing.
And we had clubs for the
with
first.
more tools.
He was saying there are 2
I'm aware of what he was saying.
Okay, is Court the player aware?
Yes.
Okay,
Court is 100% aware of what was happening.
good.
Rin is just big mad.
And we had first day clubs.
We're in his big mood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
And so we're doing just another hearty little time skip. Just a couple days, 2, 3. Just because some time has passed since last sesh, but not too much. Dax, would you like to be privy to the rolls, or would you like me to
Just do them.
Okay, 2 or 3 days.
If you said 2 or 3, we'll go 3.
3. We roll that. Okay.
Thousand-yard stare.
They're all good.
Okay.
I'm rolling to see if he floats into space or not at night.
One day,
He's
Isaac
under a
just dies during a time skip. He
Dax
floats
just-
out of the stratosphere.
Dax just doesn't come to a session.
No, I roll out the session. I gotta make sure he comes here so he can feel the pain of driving home alone.
Oh!
I'm chasing him down like, wait, you're my ride.
He's like, your ride is dead.
Or what happens if it's your car?
Dax walks home.
Oh. Dax steals your keys.
No, Dax walks. He's a monk.
God.
So,
Hate it.
we're gonna jump into this day. Excuse me. We have returned to the regular hubbub of every day at New Dawn. School is school, classes are progressing, and while it is certainly more advanced and progressive in some of its educational methods than your traditional high school, it is, in essence, your traditional high school, except you're beating the shit out of each other every day.
Yes! Ideal.
Yeah,
I love it.
Better than usual.
God, that's goals.
And after a couple of conversations, Kurt has informed you all that he secured with the architect some space and equipment for future use with the super mixed martial arts, which Rin doesn't care about. And on this fine Thursday morning, that's a day.
Sure.
You're sitting in homeroom with Kara, with the chameleon, Kara Price, who is not afraid of her identity being known. And she's just going over the gist of what to expect. There won't be anything special, but for any of you enrolled in any of the extracurriculars, show of hands, and every hand goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I guess you'll all get one of these, and she passes out a little like one-page printout that says, in essence, "Hi, this is Virgil. I have heard that the extracurriculars are going well, and I would be interested in sitting in on any one of those, and so I've decided today I'm sitting in on all of those. All of the extracurricular courses will be held in the auditorium today, at the same time slot, under my supervision."
Cool.
That sounds unsafe.
Saves travel time. Ooh, maybe cooking's gonna cook for us.
Sounds so unsafe.
Rin immediately doing fight math of like, all right, so I have this many fighters in this much space, and we're only allotted this amount of room. Could we do boxing, maybe? Or would so she's sitting there like drawing like.
And that's the only really interesting thing in homeroom is that little handout. Kara lets you all know that soon Solar Flare is going to be getting a little more of his curriculum is going to kind of take the forefront for a couple of days. But before we can even get to How to Be a Hero, How to Be a Hero is the third class. I'm stupid. I'm looking at my schedule right now. I'm like, before that, there was a lot. No.
I was like, something happens in science?
Boris goes a little crazy.
No. Boris does not go a little crazy. That would imply he loses crazy. Boris stays a lot crazy. No, it's Boris followed by Megaphone followed by Boris. It's 1, 2, 3, back to back to back.
The talking sandwich.
Yep, the talking sandwich. That's my new superhero. The talking sandwich. Shows up to lunch one day and he's like, "Please don't eat me. That's it. That's my power. Just don't eat me."
I'm not convinced.
You feel guilty after you've eaten.
That's the superpower.
What does it taste like?
Eternal guilt.
Yeah. Eternal guilt. Little coppery.
Awful.
Thanks.
Awful.
I
So
love
class.
So you guys make your way through General Ed and into How to Be a Hero, where Solar Flare looks very happy today, as he always does, but like he's glowing. Literally, he's glowing. And he is in his super costume today, as opposed to like his artist's get up.
What's his super costume look like?
So his super costume, Solar Flare. Imagine like very Nightwing-esque in how it fits. It's pretty like without being objectifying. It is form-fitting spandex, but you notice that it is reflective on pretty much every surface. It's there's a paint that we have nowadays where depending on the angle you look at it, it's a different color. It's like that, but with like the reflective angles. So depending on where you're looking at him, light catches him at different.
He's a disco ball.
He's a fucking disco ball. Yeah. Solar Flare's a disco ball in a suit, and there's just a big like crescent moon and like emblazoned on the chest with a blazing sun captured in the center, representing the duo he's a part of. And his hair is like still the messy mane, but he's got on like goggles that are like absolutely just black from one side. Hello, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Come in. Welcome to How to Be a Hero. Today you will be taught not by you've never been taught by anyone else but me, so you will be taught. I was going to make a joke with my name, but none of you know my name, and I'm not going to give out my name. So, I was going to say you haven't been taught by Solar Flare, but you have always been taught by me. That was poor transitioning on my part. So
Should we exit the room and come in again and give you another chance?
Yes.
Okay.
Why not?
Class is starting a little later, guys.
Walk out.
Okay. We can go in now.
And you come in and Solar Flare is there in a disco ball suit with black goggles. And he looks very happy. In fact, he's glowing, literally. And he welcomes you all in again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to How to Be a Hero.
Good morning.
Good morning for the first time. Today's class will be a little different than what we've been doing. We've been exploring our creative side and how we can express ourselves and why expressing ourselves as public figures is important. Today, we are going to be going over some more solid expressions of self. These have been abstract classes for some time because I wanted you to have creative liberty and get the gears turning. But we're about 2-3 weeks into our curriculum now, and I would love to see what some of you have come up with. Now, what am I talking about? Well, I'm in my costume, as you all know. This was not the costume I've landed on, but this is the one I debuted in approximately 2 years ago when Lunar Eclipse and I started working together. I have my independent one that I could absolutely change into, but I chose this one because this was the first presentation that people really remember me in. And so, again, stressing the point of impact. If I had worn just my independent hero solar flare costume, nobody would know who I was. Aside from the fact that solar flare is your teacher for this period. So, today we are owning in on the specificity of your abstract experimentation and finding the concrete ideas for you to land on for things you would like to incorporate in your costumes, and potentially discussing names. Now, this will be something we explore over the next couple of days. We'll be going over examples from previous heroes throughout history, things that worked, things that didn't, and looking at things a little more scholastically as well. And that is where Thomas stops talking as Solar Flare and starts narrating as the Dungeon Master. This will be how to be a hero for the next couple of sessions. It will be touching in and just checking with the players to see, do you have any ideas for a hero name, for hero costume ideas? Just things that the school wants you to be on top of.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you as a player and a character do not have to have answers to these questions, but feel free to start thinking about them, because we're going to start having them soon. Once we have solidified ideas approved by you and a couple of the members of faculty, we'll pass it on to Adelheid, and she'll be sewing these to the specifications that you asked. So measurements will be important. We have all of those from the physical, but you're all probably going to be in better shape by that point, so we'll have to take them again. And I'd just like to open that up. Does anyone have any ideas for what they'd like? And hands shoot up. Yeah. I'll do a player character, then a couple of NPCs, and back and forth. So you two can roll for initiative. Why not? Okay, he passed it to you, Rich.
I want to roll for initiative.
I like rolling for initiative for arbitrary school things. Your agility modifier.
16.
10.
Oh, I'm rolling too?
If you
I
want.
don't want to be next.
Then don't.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to be next?
Not necessarily next, but if we're rolling initiative, I was just like, oh.
I asked them to roll for initiative because they both raised their hands for ideas. That they
Gotcha.
have.
So Isaac's hand shoots up much faster than Rin's.
Yeah.
From
Rin-
the ceiling, it
accurate.
just darts down.
Rin has a lot more momentum downwards as she's propelling herself up, but Isaac does get that hand up more quickly.
Yep. Yes, Mr. Tonu, and you notice that Rita's hand is up, Jareth's hand is up, Fia's hand is up, Rex and Terrence, Lenny, Ares, Kurt, not Ramona, not Ryan. But
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Rin.
On this, he's literally
No.
a question mark on my seating
No,
chart.
my name is pronounced Rin, not Ryan. What? Oh!
For any audience members tuning in for the first time or who've just forgotten that, Ryan's power, you forget about him when you're not looking at him,
Who?
or something that reminds you of him, and Court is incredibly committed to that bit, and I love you for it.
It's a good bit!
It
is a
is
great
a good bit.
So, Isaac, you have ideas for a costume or a potential name?
Yes. Name is G-Force because that is really catchy. It has the ability to have just a monogram for just G as far as the lettering. So that's good for logo potential.
Mm-hmm.
And
Very marketable.
Yep, and it involves the power that I do of just changing the gravitational force on people.
That's very good, Isaac.
And then takes out his portfolio from literally all of the artistic stuff we've done and hands him any possible drawing that has the costume on it. You mentioned Nightwing before, and that has the idea of the kind of coming to a little V down there, where G and a belt that could potentially hold objects later. Grip gloves, so as far as gloves that have like a better gripping surface. There is a wristband on the right that is drawn in that looks very much similar to the ones they're already wearing, but this one's built into the costume. And on the... Let's put that on both shoulders, actually.
He's so sweet.
As Isaac is saying all this out loud. Actually, let's put that on both shoulders.
Uh-huh.
There is what looks to be a drawing done by like a 5-year-old of like what a hero would look like a stick figure with a cape on either shoulder.
That's
And then
precious.
The boots are
Uggs.
heavier than they need to be.
They're mugs. They're man Uggs.
And Uggs.
Awesome. And then before we get to Rin, Jared's hand was up, and he's like, so I haven't really thought about costume, but more about tools and things like that. Things that can help me and enhance my power. And Solar Flare, his eye raised, and he goes, as part of your costume and branding, Jareth, that is what we are focusing on today. And he goes, I mean, I was going to spitball and see if people could help me figure out how to incorporate it into the costume. Because I have no idea about that, I'll be honest. He's like, that is fair. I did not start that sentence, and I'm not going to finish it. That is fair, Jareth. Perhaps towards the end, we can talk one-on-one before we put any ideas out there. He goes, okay. And puts his hand down. Rin?
Well, now I have ideas for Jareth. But for me, so I struggle with the name specifically because a lot of Japanese heroes have very to-the-point names. They have names denoting family, they have names denoting clan, and I don't want that, especially becoming an American superhero. So the thing that I've come to land on is something that embodies both my resilience and my headstrongness, and that's steam engine. That essentially I can carry the public upon my back while still clearing a path forward.
Chug chug.
Precisely. And as far as costume goes, I wouldn't want anything too elaborate because I'll usually blow it up. So I was thinking something very along the lines of just a very modified gi, and maybe something a bit more traditional for my family, like a headband.
Well, I do not want to fault or find flaws in your creativity there.
Please
Rin.
do.
But Adelheid silk is nigh indestructible. You are not the first super with an explosive power, Rin.
Oh, yeah.
The costume can accommodate.
Huh. Huh.
Though I do like the minimalist approach to your apparel.
I did have an idea for a couple of tools I could use, but as you said
We'll
to
come
Jared,
up with those another time.
exactly. So I'll get back to thinking for proper costuming.
Very well. And he looks out again, and one or two of the hands have gone down since then. Lenny, in particular, like, she's deep in thought. Her hand was one of the first ones up, and now she's like, oh, wait, I didn't have an answer to that.
I love her.
Rex has gone silent. Terrence raises his hand and describes this sort of, basically, what you'd catch someone in if they were snowboarding. A heavy jacket, his trademark beanie, like, winter goggles, and specifically a snowboard that is, like, and he doesn't stop at the point where everyone else has, like, that's tech. He's like, and I think I could have a snowboard that comes out of my shoes, but it can also go back into them, so I don't have to carry one around or worry about, like, taking it out or it breaking, and if it breaks, I can just make a new one, and he just goes off, and
And
he's
snow cone syrup.
and snow cone syrup on a belt dispenser, because someone mentioned that to me, and that would be a really good idea, and he just keeps going, and this is the most excited Terrence has been about anything that you've seen. Like, his anxiety is propelling him like a jet. And he finishes, and Solarflare's like, great. And a name? And he's like, I have no idea. I'll think about it. He's like, good. And anyone else is welcome to share if they'd like. If they have nothing right now, that's okay. I'd like to hear, and maybe when you hear others, it'll inspire or poke holes even in your creative process and help you realize what weaknesses or strengths you currently possess. And Kurt just his hands up, Mr. Howitzer. And Kurt's like, I'd like a mech.
Love it.
He's like, yes, that's a good idea. You are not physically enabled like the rest of the class. And he's like, I know. And as everyone has those sort of responses, he's like, what? The vast majority of you have a power that enhances your physical capabilities. I'm almost certain I am the only student in this class who doesn't.
What about that one guy, Ryan?
Ryan doesn't, but obviously I forgot about him.
Who?
Ryan.
No, it's Rin.
No, Ryan.
Ryan!
Ryan's like, hey guys! And I suppose Ramona doesn't, but there's a terrifying strength somewhere in her power.
I'm still not entirely sure what her power is.
None of us are. And she like kind of puts her hand down at that.
In a good way. That'll keep people guessing. Who can fight what they don't know?
And you hear a voice like, yeah, that's kind of my thing.
Who? Who else does that?
Me.
Hey, Ryan!
Hey, how you doing, Rin? Uh-huh. I'm good at the not being noticed thing.
Are you?
Yeah.
Now I'm just confused.
Look away.
Okay, I guess.
Hey, Rin.
Stop touching me.
No.
Get off! And then
And
turns
then
around and starts fighting
Just
at
goes
me.
a little bit. It's like, but no, I'd like a mech to shore up my physical capabilities, but also there's something imposing about being a figure of iron and law. It associates with justice and the unbending will of heroes. That's only if I'm in the field, though. I would just have my regular attire on otherwise. And so there's like, I still understand where you're coming from, Kurt, but remember, you're all in a hero course for a reason. And his eyes quickly dart to Allie. Like, imperceptible to anyone but Allie. No one else feel like you have to share, but I hope that inspired something, and there's like talk then from that point. Robin, Miss Lewis.
I don't have any name ideas yet, but I have a couple of aspects of my costume that I think would be beneficial. Namely, a parachute on a dead man switch.
Equipment. Again, we will talk about that at another time, everyone. But thank you for your enthusiasm. It is important to think about. Your protection is just as vital as your appearance in these costumes, if not more so. But I think, let me rephrase, I think your appearance is just as vital as your protection. Yes.
As far as costuming goes, sorry, words. She just sort of like holds out a picture because words are not good, and it's, but it's a very like tight-fitting, gives sight to. What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
Oh, it has a very vampiric flavor to
What?
it, where it's got like
It's
got
got
a
a
large
It's got
collar.
the cowled
It's got like the large collar up, not really like a V-neck because that gets in the way when you're flying. It sort of catches air, but it's got the high collar,
Which will also
open
catch
back.
Is it like the
No, it's not like a lizard collar. It's just like having the
think traditional Dracula with the
Dracula
the cape.
popped
Yeah.
collar up on the back.
But that would also catch
Shush.
air.
And does it?
Okay.
Does it
Superhero,
have
go
the
away.
frilled blouse front?
No.
Ah.
It's got a little bit more of the sleek look to it. The skin tight, just because I'm streamlined. Pants flare out vaguely ABBA style at the bottom, but the whole thing is white. It's an entirely white costume. Now I sort of stands with it because I am aware of the connotations that come with my power and the bat-like wings, so I want to play into it, but have a slightly more hero shade.
Miss Lewis, before you speak, are these going to be words that should be said publicly?
We are all meant to learn, correct?
Miss Lewis, before you speak, is this something that will be hurtful?
I think it'll be informative.
Miss Lewis, you did not answer my question.
I find my comment to be more practical than hurtful.
Deflection, and then the lights shine on his suit and catch your eye for a second. You have to shut your eyes before they go back, is a useful tactic.
I think the biggest problem with it is that it's white and will get dirty very quickly.
That was what I was going to say.
Think of how much you'd have to launder it. Go for like a nice light gray.
I was specifically going to mention you work with blood. It'll turn red or brown.
Could you just pull the red right out of it? Let's find out!
Also,
No, I can.
That's so cool.
you're long range, so you shouldn't get anything on it.
Now, everyone, I'd like to clarify. I asked Miss Lewis those questions because some of you have come to me with concerns about her behavior. I am not saying any of this to call her out. I am saying this because that is who she is, and while she is working on improving her faults, she is probably feeling undue pressure for them. Every one of you has faults. Let's be a little kinder to one another. Miss Lewis, the intent was not to call you out, but to draw attention to the fact that you feel called out. Whatever perceived flaws you have are yours to discover, and that is your journey to take. You are in this class for a reason, just as everyone else is. If you'd like to talk afterward, we may. Was there anything else? Very well then. Everyone, you may leave class a couple minutes early. Please don't be late to your next one, Miss Lewis. And he just gently moves people out of class. And then, like, the little window panel into the room, like, flares up. And no one can see into the room.
Robin stays seated while the other people leave.
Rin casts a wayward glance backwards.
And is blinded.
No, specifically, she does cast that look at Robin, and it's a look of... It's the closest Rin can get to concern. It's like that thing that someone... When someone who's really strong finally breaks, and their other really strong friend looks at them like... It's very much that. She makes her way out of the class.
Miss Lewis?
Do you think it's possible to be a hero and be a bad person?
I think... yes, that is possible. I do not think you are a bad person. Miss Lewis, you've saved 2 lives already.
I know.
And you're barely a teenager. Bad people don't save lives. Miss Lewis, you are smart, analytical, and chaste. And I say that last one, meaning that you are a little less than when it comes to explaining yourself. I think this comes from a place because you don't have to explain. Your brain makes these connections. And because that's how you exist and how you live, you just assume that is the norm for everyone. That their brain should be able to make those connections. But everyone has their strengths, just as they have their flaws. And your intellect is one of your strengths, Miss Lewis. Do not consider it a flaw.
I don't.
Good. The only reason I did what I did in class today was because the entire purpose of this class is to talk about the repercussions of our actions in the public eye. And, well, your public right now is the rest of the class. I did not mean to put a literal spotlight on you, but I thought it was a moment we could all learn from. I'm sorry for using you as an example without your permission, but this school's education is supposed to reflect the realities of the world, and we are not going to stop doing such.
What did everyone else learn?
They learned that their actions have repercussions. Do you think they felt guilt when that happened? I'm certain a good few of them did. Do you think they felt upset at seeing their friend cry? I'm certain a good few of them did, if not all. I cannot speak in blanket statements, but I know those you've grown close to were hurt that they had hurt you. When people come to me with these sorts of things, I have to consider how to address them, but I also have to consider how to address them in this curriculum. Because this curriculum moves at such a pace that we don't exactly have time to slow down. You will all develop as your education does. And so I apologize for any hardship you may be going through, and I'm going to say the hardest thing that I think I will ever say to a student, and that is that you'll have to get used to it. Do not think for a moment that we do not care about your growth, Robin. We do. And that is why I brought it up today. Was there anything you'd like to say?
I don't think so.
Do not mistake me bringing all of that up as saying that you are a bad person or that you are rude.
But I am.
No. You all simply are not communicating at the same level yet. You have yet to be close enough to understand one another's idiosyncrasies. You are not a bad person, Miss Lewis. You have saved 2 lives already. We accepted you into the hero program because of your willingness to go above and beyond to do that again. You would give up everything about your identity. We know how much you pride yourself in your super status. You would give up everything that is to save anyone. One of your answers on the test proved that. If you'd like, I could read it back to you.
That's okay.
If you knew you would lose your powers as a result of breaking the law, would you still have saved a life? And you said yes.
Yeah.
You're a good person, Miss Lewis. You're all still learning how to communicate. That's all. I wouldn't have singled you out if I didn't think you were strong. Or if I didn't think you could intellectually comprehend why I had done it. I'm not going to hold you any longer, but if you wish to take a moment for yourself, then you're willing to. By all means, compose yourself if you feel like you have to, but do not be afraid to be vulnerable either.
I'll be okay. Thank you, Professor.
Absolutely. And we can continue this conversation another time if you have any more thoughts on it.
Okay.
Now go have fun, if you can, with Virgil. If I am Solar Flare, then he's a dark man. It should be a mellow class. He's not feeling too well.
He's getting left out because nobody had him in their clubs. Nobody asked him to supervise a club.
Hey,
he wants to supervise all of them now.
if he supervised Fight Club, it would just be like, do you know why you lost? Because you're an idiot.
It's not because your power is worse, it's because your understanding of your own psyche is flawed.
Person's just like, what do you mean? He's like, you're dumb.
You're dumb enough to not understand that your courage is a flaw.
Dun dun!
If you were less courageous, you'd be more intellectual and have a much more careful approach. Blah, blah, blah.
Blah,
Virgil,
blah,
Virgil,
blah,
Virgil,
blah.
Virgil, Virgil.
On to Virgil.
Yeah.
And so we
What a
skip through
transition.
psychology. As he teaches the class as normal, this time going into why villains have dressed the way they have and why villains have chosen the names they have. And we can go into a little bit of that because there's a very important one I can go about with this. So, Virgil...
He's speaking in third person.
Sorry. Solar Flare talked about names and meaning and being in the public spotlight. Heroes aren't the only ones who do that. Villains present themselves, usually proudly, in the spotlight. And, most villains who take pride in that, I'm not talking the Calvin Soes of the world, that is an unfortunate accident. But Cytophage, Crimson Tide, they wear costumes. Why? They have names. Why? What is the intent behind it? If a hero is to inspire and to motivate and to stabilize, to create a feeling of safety or warmth or comfort, what is a villain doing by taking that idea and turning it around? Let's talk about the Crimson Tide. Why do you think she calls herself that? Isaac.
Because tides are unstoppable?
A good idea. Certainly, she does have an overwhelming amount of ego. Most of her crimes have been committed in broad daylight, and with her cackling maniacally at that. She escapes the scene every time, despite responders being there as quick as they can. Overwhelming, unstoppable. Could be. Miss Lewis, your hand was up.
Tides also can come on suddenly and leave just as suddenly. It's her pattern.
Mm-hmm. She is a sporadic villain. She comes and goes at a whim.
Mm-hmm.
There's not been a recurring theme with any of her crimes, just crime. Other than death, we can't figure out why she kills who she kills or how she chooses these people. We just know that when she does, she does. Why crimson instead of red or bloody? Crimson. Hear that word. Feel the power. You start with a hard k and move into this almost romantic, rolling, deep, guttural R. Even if that was all you said, there's a menace to those two letters together. A name is not just catchy. How a word is formed is just as important. Crimson. It ends on an N. Isaac.
Does it also have the same stem as the word crime?
It does. As far as I'm aware. Miss Lewis.
Crimson, it has a passion to it, and with her cackle and such, she seems to be passionate about what she does.
She does. Now to everyone, I'm going to disclose a little bit of information you're not going to find in a textbook. The Crimson Tide is in fact a passion killer. And from the reports that I have read, and the analysis I have attempted on her psyche, you're all in the right direction. Overwhelming. She likes to come and go without a warning. But what people aren't talking about, because it is not safe for them to talk about, and his eyes quickly scan everyone in the room, this falls within the terms of the non-disclosure agreement we all signed at the beginning of our curriculum. Moira, the Crimson Tide, she considers herself holy. She considers what she does to be religious. She believes that superpowers are a privilege, and those who waste them are wasting the potential of the blood that pumps through their veins. So she believes she is liberating that power by taking it from someone unworthy and releasing it to the world. So let's look again at the name Crimson Tide. She washes it all away. There's an absolution. Names are important. They tell you so much about someone. And when a villain is willing to give up that information, you take it. You take advantage of that knowledge. You use that pride, that hubris, to ultimately win. Now, I'm not suggesting any one of you go out and try and find the Crimson Tide. Am I clear? And Jareth just cracks his knuckles and nods. Like, that's the one audible thing aside from the silence. Is just And that's kind of the focus of the class, is the analysis of names. And he goes over a couple different words, and cytophage, there's like blah 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 blah, Virgil. But Crimson Tide is specifically one that could tie into a player character. So I thought it was worth
Thank you.
Yes.
First name's Moira.
Moira.
She's Irish.
Yeah, she is.
She's probably got red hair too, the bitch.
Yep.
Is it naturally red though?
There's nothing
She
natural.
dyes it regularly.
It's dyed in natural
Natural shades.
It's all organic.
Yep.
Biodegradable, in fact.
Yeah, she's actually just a really diehard vegan.
That's where she gets her powers from.
It's veganism.
Chicken Parmesan's not vegan?
Caviar's not vegan.
Gelato's not vegan?
Yeah, that's what it was. Gelato.
Milk and eggs, bitch.
Milk and eggs, bitch. Get him! That's a quotable movie.
De-veganize him.
Big spattle. And so we make our way out of psychology into the lunch period. Launch! Where I don't have anything particular planned this session, but if anyone had any shenanigans or gimmicks, like Isaac with Fia, then we are ready to jump into those. Well, not necessarily Fia. Isaac had a couple ideas he messaged me about. So,
Because there was a couple of days in between, so that could have happened
for sure.
during that time. Because this tied in kind of better than I thought, because I want to sit with Jareth and Robin.
Okay, you sit with Jareth and Robin, and that's not mine.
I'm so used to getting you water.
Thank you, Court. Thank you, Corn.
Hey, that's me.
Can I sit here today?
I don't see why not.
Sure.
Are you in between them, or just like?
I don't know. I don't. Is there space in between
Just
them?
shoves them aside.
You could wiggle in there.
Yeah.
If you
If
want to.
they're on if this is the table, if they're
I
sitting
imagine
on the
they're
same
probably
side,
actually
Yeah,
across from each
we're
other.
we're across from each other.
then it doesn't matter which.
No, you're in
Side
between
again.
them,
Just wedges himself
shouting
in
from the
there.
ceiling.
Hey!
Guys,
Nice
mind if I sit?
You're
up
on the
here?
table.
How's the semester going for you guys?
Good.
Good. We haven't had a ton of tests, mostly pop quizzes so far.
I mean, I think those are just called exercises, Robin.
Fair.
The curriculum states when the tests will be.
I know.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. How's what's your favorite class?
It's school. There have to be tests.
Psychology. Myself.
Combat theory. Though I loved the psychology lesson today.
What are your thoughts on the psychology lesson for today?
Me? Oh, it was just... They're very good about tying all of the different classes together, so it was very much about the same thing as being a hero, but the villain side of it.
And I thought it was interesting to learn that the faculty at this school have privileged information that the public doesn't.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You've got the best number one sidekick.
Yeah, but Virgil?
He's up there in academia, at least as far as villain psychology.
I mean, he's leading the field.
Exactly.
I just find it... I suppose it makes sense that he would have that classified information. It's bizarre, I think, that they would share it with our class. They have a lot of trust in teenagers.
That's the thing that strikes me most. I mean, of course we all signed non-disclosure agreements, but again...
what more did we learn? Moira? A first name?
A first name and an ideology.
Oh.
Could be used to manipulate.
Or do you think they're afraid?
Afraid of what?
That we might be targeted.
Don't know. I was thinking about that.
I mean, why would they give us that information otherwise? What good is it going to do us? We're not going to... Even if we wanted to, none of us could stop her.
And I don't think that any of the voices or people I've encountered I'll tell you later.
You will. The voice is in my head.
Robin, what is your power?
The phone call. It was mail.
I thought it was ambiguous.
It was ambiguous.
Ambiguous? Okay. Well, I imagine that Crimson Tide would be much more sultry than that. Yes, I hope that someone aiming to take powers from those not properly using it would not target an aspiring school of teaching supers how to use their powers.
But we are the spotlight, right? Every eye's on us, and we've got, towards the end of the semester, our first public appearance, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
I see you're excited about that, Isaac. I mean, like...
Is it meant to be encouraging?
No. Why would they intimidate us? But here's my theory, is... What if they are absolutely making sure that if we were the target, we know how to resolve the situation, or at least are better equipped to?
I suppose. But at the same time, how do you prove you're using your power correctly?
I don't know.
Compared to a religious ideologue.
You show. Don't tell. You use your power.
Maybe he was subtly encouraging us all to fight back against villainy, if that's the extrapolation.
I mean, I would hope we're all ready.
Yeah. I don't know, I understand if he's scared.
Yeah.
If anything, if we are targeted, that's a good thing. Because it'll give us a chance to save the day, give us some experience out in the field, and maybe they'll speed things along a bit.
I mean, I'm kind of with you on that one, Isaac.
Yeah.
If Moira... Moira. I'm going to take the power from her name. If this Moira figure attacks, let's go swinging. And, without breaking his, verbal or vocal or physical demeanor, the table around his fingers is crushed. He hasn't even noticed, but through the course of the conversation, it's just, the metals, he's been forcing these bonds tighter and tighter together with the magnetism in his fingertips.
I want to attempt a deception roll to pass along a hidden message.
Okay.
Ooh.
21.
Nice.
What is the message?
How are you after that lesson?
Yeah, Robin, you pick up on that easy enough.
Yeah.
Jareth also doesn't seem to be listening too much.
Mm-hmm.
He's working on it.
Yep. Then I suppose a deception roll on my part to pass the secret message back and
Ultimately,
keep it secret.
you're rolling these just so Jareth doesn't pay attention. But I'll tell you right now, Jareth is locked in his personal flashback moments.
and if someone watching the anime would currently be going through his backstory,
Yeah.
he'd be like, "Oh, when I was 6," and then it would like flashback, and it's gonna come back to you guys like mid conversation. Sasuke.
Oh!
That's a 14 on mine.
Yeah, you're good. The DC's really low right now.
That's fair. She is definitely still shaken and trying to think about anything else. Trying to focus on problems she can solve.
So it just so happened to be, well, I was planning on coming over here today, the beginning of today. You guys,
During homeroom?
well, at lunch, I was thinking about it.
You were thinking 5 minutes ago?
No, homeroom, to come and talk to you guys.
Oh, okay.
Because you guys do a lot of observing. At least from here, from what I've seen. At least in the Super Mixed Martial Arts Club, we do a lot of just fighting each other, but we don't really work on drills specifically.
How the fuck would you know? You're only over there for 6 minutes.
6 minutes was all I needed last time. So I think a little bit of critical thinking about being critical might be helpful, and to kind of start thinking about what our own like fighting flaws are. And I was wondering if you guys had any ideas of how we can address maybe people's weaknesses and find ways for us to overcome them.
I'm happy to help.
An example.
Okay.
So, Jareth, your magnetism.
And then he lets go of the table finally. What?
Your magnetism.
Yeah.
What's your plan when you go into a fight?
Get to him. Hit him. Hit him hard. Knock him out.
Okay.
And right now it's figuring out how to do those things.
So one area that you might want to pursue, we have the same problem where, what if like long range? What do we do if there's?
You don't have that problem. You move with the speed of goddamn light.
But for dodgeball, the second test, I couldn't cross the line.
Yeah.
So,
Space.
as far as Robin, you throw things at people.
Mhm.
So you have no problem with taking care of longer range stuff. Whether, like for us, we have to figure out some way to work on that. And in optimization, something I was thinking about, hitting them. Is your fist gonna stick after you hit him?
I can make it stick.
Have you ever studied, like, what martial arts have you studied?
Mostly boxing and shoot boxing.
Have you ever thought about, because you can make yourself stick to things.
Yeah.
Have you ever pursued maybe like a submission art? Because if you put someone in a choke, they can't get your arm off.
You know, I've thought about it, but that's a lot to learn. Not that I can't.
You're in the perfect place. Like a little jujitsu, it's gonna help.
There's enough students here who practice everything that I could probably find it.
I'm taking a jujitsu class if you ever want to join.
Maybe.
Yeah. You can give them a couple lessons.
Oh, I can't give lessons, but you can come with.
Yeah.
So that is an example. For me, again, long range is something that I need to work on.
Yeah.
But thinking about in terms of, okay, what are our strengths and weaknesses?
Mm-hmm.
Robin, do you have to touch things to do the
I do. I have to be
So
in
do you.
physical
Mhm.
contact.
So if you did a striking art like boxing or shoot boxing, you'd find it easier to be able to use your power on somebody who's trying to dodge.
Yes.
So in that way,
Yeah.
you could help with that to make her better at getting her hands on somebody.
And likewise, you're my in, I suppose, to this judo class. Or jujitsu. Jujitsu.
Jujitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either one. Judo's a lot of submission too.
Yeah.
They're both fine.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
just thinking in terms of, I know if I tried to talk to somebody about it, or Thea or Lenny, we would probably sugarcoat things a lot. So having at least a point of view that's a little bit more critical.
Mm-hmm.
Are you asking us to come watch the club and point out
Critique?
flaws?
That's a start. Especially since our clubs are all going to be going at the same time.
I mean, yeah, today's a good day to at least do it.
True. I can say, at least as far as the first thing, I know that Rin's temper gets in her way.
So what I was thinking is, once you make the list, then we just give it to Duplex. And have one of the teachers broach the topic.
And then none of us are villainized, which was bullshit, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah, like, for real, what a louse.
It was a very shitty way of going about it.
I mean, I'm certain he had his reasons.
He did. He explained his reasons.
You don't sound convinced.
His reasons were to make other people feel bad that I felt bad.
That's dumb.
Yes.
Just make sure that nobody feels bad. Easy.
That's the whole thing was actions have consequences and all that.
I mean, they do. That's why you gotta do good stuff. Get the good consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that was his point, right?
Well, just know that we're here for you.
Is Allie a part of that martial arts thing?
No.
You're friends with her, though, right?
I try to be friends with everybody a little
yeah,
bit.
but I mean, like, you guys hang out. Like, we hang out at lunch.
I kind of
Rin.
jump around.
Hold on, I'm gonna go find them.
Okay. Be
And
careful.
Jareth gets up. Yeah, why? It's
I
just
don't
a
know.
talk. Relax. And this is me segueing to the other side. Yeah. You're chomping down. Armand has already finished her meal.
You're a bitch, Armand!
Feisty one.
At this point, Rin has gathered not only her high caloric club, she's also invited as many people from SSMA who will show up.
Yep. Yeah. So your table's becoming the popular table.
It's literally just, she's pulling up chairs if people want to come in, but anyone who wants to sit with them, she's like, you have to show me how fast you can eat.
And like, you get some people who are like, okay.
And Ren's like, they're a lost cause. You can still sit with us, but you've got some work to do.
The speed eating club at the school now.
Yes.
But you're becoming the popular table, and you like. There's a gentle tap on your shoulder that you don't notice because you're eating, and then there's a gentle pull on your shoulder. As you turn around, Jared is sitting there, hands in his pockets, and he's like, "Hey,
Hi.
hey, Allie is nowhere to be seen because she's not at this table.
She eats with other people.
You're friends with, like, good friends with Allie, right? You two kind of came up together.
Yes. Why?
I need her help testing something.
What?
She does like hemomancy, right?
Uh-huh.
I think I have an idea, but I mean I need a hemomancer to test it.
Go on.
You also do the fight club? Can you bring her today?
She's not gonna come to Fight Club. She thinks she's cheating.
Why?
Because she rips the blood out of people without punching them.
And?
She sees it as cheating.
She's wrong.
Objectively.
Yeah.
But I also know what she will and will not use her power for. So what do you want her to use her power for?
I need to see if my countermeasure works.
You're being very vague and that's suspicious, but I like it. But she won't.
Okay. Damn.
Just be less vague. I had her pull blood out of me a bunch of times.
I would like her to try and pull blood out of me
To what ends?
to see if I can stop her from doing it.
Neat. I'm sure she's down.
Okay.
I'll make her down.
The other clubs are meeting today, and I think I'm going to start showing up to... I mean, I'm already showing up to SMMA, but...
Maybe just don't eat lunch with us.
Yeah.
How's Robin doing?
Good. She's a little upset.
About what?
I mean, Solar Flare called her out like an idiot.
What do you mean?
When he was like, hey, you're insulting other classmates. Don't do that. Blah, blah, blah.
She is.
Yeah? But, like, is that how you address it?
How was he supposed to?
Hey, after class, can I talk to you, Miss Lewis?
Why would he not say it right then and there?
I don't know. He hurt her.
Uh-huh.
Should heroes be doing that?
And then Rin kind of... She distances herself from the table a little bit without actually physically getting up.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things of like, she closes the metaphorical circle and steps outside of it for a second. And she just... Jareth.
Yeah.
How involved is your family with heroics at large?
Not involved with heroics at large. Mom is human and dad is dead.
My condolences.
He's been dead for a long time.
But Solar Flare phrased that in the gentlest way I've ever seen a professional hero phrase a critique. Especially in front of others.
Why do it in front of others at all?
Because then you remember.
Yeah.
Tetsuno Ken has a very fun habit of pointing out your flaws in front of people who do them better than you.
Your dad, right?
I don't know him.
Damn. I thought I had daddy issues. Sorry, that was supposed to be a joke. Supposed to lighten the mood. I touched on a sour subject.
I've been eating a lot and I'm trying not to let my power come in.
I'm sorry. I hadn't realized.
Drop this subject and let's get back to the other one. So.
And he magnets his fist to his mouth as a physical gag.
So, the way that Solar Flare addressed that issue in particular was out of character for him specifically. Yes, but it's a tactic used by a lot of professional heroes to keep other heroes essentially on a leash. A lot of hero agencies will have their highest hero perform critiques in front of everyone. They gather up all the heroes, and instead of handing out individualized reports, they will simply point and say, you did this wrong. You did that wrong. You are like this, stop it. At least in Japan they are. And it's brutal, but it's effective.
Because then you're not only reminded of that because it sticks out like a sore fucking thumb in your memory, but everyone else is too.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can call you on it.
You're held accountable.
I do think it's harsh, but I understand it.
It's hard to be a hero.
Yeah.
It's even harder for the people around you.
So you're passing that class, right?
What class?
How to be a hero, you get it.
What about it?
Never mind.
I'm kidding. But essentially, what it boils down to is she has to rein in her temper. Because 9 times out of 10, she'll be the only person on that battlefield who's not helpless. And if she makes civilians feel like they are more helpless than they already are, she has already lost.
That's a lot of respect. What you just said. Does she know you feel that way?
No. She can't. Because then it will go to her head.
I mean, maybe.
I've been intentionally eating the loudest things I can every night. So that she is well aware I am watching her. She's smart, she's savvy, and she's good at what she does. But she's rude as hell and does not do a good job of making anyone feel better about anything. And as a hero, that's half the job. I can maybe list 5 heroes who don't do aftercare for citizens, and that's because they just go to a new fight. And Robin's not the type to go from one fight immediately to another fight.
No.
When the Red Sakura fought the Tiger Clan, she stopped in between fights.
Yeah.
She checked in with civilians, and if Robin can't do that, she won't be a hero. She'll be a vigilante.
Damn. We should talk more.
Why?
You have a lot of knowledge.
My dad was some superhero in Japan.
So, was that a joke or do I not comment on it?
What?
Okay, fuck me. Who's your dad?
A superhero in Japan. You probably never heard of him.
I can't tell if you're joking now. I'm just not gonna talk about it.
Okay. My mom owns this restaurant.
That's neat.
I can show you where it is.
Another time, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to my table.
How fast do you eat lunch?
I mean, I like to pace myself
Why?
so that I don't choke.
In theory, could you magnetize food to the inside of your throat?
I knew you
Is
would
that
ask-
the problem?
I'd rather not try.
No, I'm not asking if you've ever tried. I'm asking if that's what happens.
That is not what happens. I might be able to. I'm not going to try. Usually I have to touch something. Not always. I mean...
Define
short
touch.
Short distance, not touch. I mean, I didn't touch your shoulder to get your attention.
Uh-huh.
Just sort of pulled on it.
Neat.
I mean, it happened in our fights too, where and you feel like your hair get yanked a little bit.
Can you magnet your eyelids shut?
That's a weird fucking question.
Like if someone's trying to wake you up and you don't want to give up the ruse that you're not actually asleep, could you
Yeah, I can. It kind of hurts.
That's so cool!
Yeah, that's the coolest part.
You're the best. Could you do it with your nostrils?
I'd rather not try.
That's fair. It's something to remember if anyone ever employs stink tactics.
Yeah, stink tactics.
You've never heard of the stink bug.
No.
And then Rin goes into a bit of a discussion of a Japanese villain who was kind of the butt of a lot of jokes, but he was called the stink bug and made people's lives fucking miserable. And the whole lesson of that is just essentially, if someone employs chemical warfare, close your nose.
And his problem wasn't even with the idea of chemical warfare, it was just stink tactics. Allie, you're sitting at your table enjoying your lunch real quiet with no one in particular.
No one.
Yeah, Allie, as far as I know, chooses to eat alone.
I told you via text message earlier this week that I wouldn't go out with Aries. Not text message. I told you verbally one evening and you probably forgot.
I didn't forget. I know what you had wanted to accomplish with Aries. I wasn't going to do that at school lunchtime.
Okay.
Because you guys wanted to talk in a group scenario.
Probably group scenarios, so just... I figured if I'm not, like, attached to some section of Rin's table...
That's fair. Okay.
You can be.
If I was, then Jareth would not have spent that time talking to you. So today I am not at
Jareth
Jareth.
would have.
Ooh, that's weird.
Jareth knows you a lot better than he knows her.
That's also
What a weird... Hey, use your power on me.
Suck my blood.
Yeah, right? Right? He still would have gone to Rin. He still would have gone to Rin. Hey, 14. Nuh-uh. Still would have gone to Rin.
Uh-huh.
Who would you like to be sitting with?
Fia.
I was gonna say Fia comes up to you if you didn't.
Well, we sitting with Fia. We're sitting there comparing, like, costume notes and talking about costumes for everybody else and stuff.
Yeah.
And fashion.
So yours was all white, and then people were like, maybe gray or tan or beige or something. But all those colors would still show red.
Uh-huh.
So, like, what if it was, like, just red? But, like, no, not like a spooky red, right? But, like, you get, like, a bright, vibrant red, like a lollipop or a balloon.
That's still... I'm trying to not give the red that, like, the other one, the other hemomancer that is well known, uses. I wanted to give the white because it goes with sort of the hero idea I'm thinking about.
But
no, I'm not
they're
sure
right
about
about your costume. Then they're just going to see a hero stained with blood.
This is true. I am able to take it off though. That's the
Waterproof.
easy part. Get like waterproof. It could be like one of the spandex or like a plastic kind of a thing. No.
Waterproof it.
Oh, like Scotch Guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work really well.
Just waterproof your costume.
Like it'd be
Make it
hydrophobic.
Hydrophobic.
That would probably work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's worth trying because I like the idea of. I didn't like want a color that would look or make people think of vampires and stuff because that's already going to spring to their mind. Mm-hmm. So I want something that wasn't.
I mean, especially with the cape, the way you designed it, literally to look like a vampire.
Not so much a cape, just meant to be like the shirt because I still want. Because that's the idea that's going to come up anyway, but I want it to be the same idea but different. Change their minds about a thing that they don't like.
I get it.
You didn't mention your costuming class. What are you thinking of?
So I need to get protective equipment for sure as part of the costume on specifically my elbows, my arms, my hands, and my knees.
Rollerblades.
No. What?
Not on the joints, but like rollerbladers wear.
Oh, yeah, I was confused why you would suggest rollerblades to me. That made no sense.
No, I meant
Coming
like
us up
wheels.
No, just like things that I'm gonna be hitting people with and getting hit with.
You might want some kind of like a neck stabilizer
I
for
thought
when you
about
ram into things.
I thought about something for my neck, but I have to keep my legs loose and limber, and I have to let my feet be able to make contact with the ground.
Why do your feet have to make contact with the ground? Is that just for stability?
Impact! And she just lifts a foot and stomps it in the room. Just a little shake. Everyone feels it. Yeah. Because my dad.
Who's your dad?
Buckwild.
Would I have heard of Buckwild?
Yeah. He's a relatively like mid-tier hero whose power is stag.
Nice.
Running into combat. I'm going stag.
That's his catchphrase.
Okay, I feel like I should have made that connection, but honestly, I hadn't thought about everyone's parentage because it's so easy to get people who just look different than their parents.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I got dad's power.
You're gonna be even better than him.
Oh, duh.
She's so cute.
I love her.
Yeah. So protective gear here. A neck brace is a good idea, but it has to be able to be pliable. Something a little springy, maybe like Lenny's to reduce tension.
Analyze will probably think of something. It might even be something with spring, just something to help, like compression, not compression, suspension coils that they have like in cars.
And then I'd like to like figure out. I'm still getting the charge maneuver my dad does down. But I need to work on that.
Why does it have to be his maneuver? Why can't you?
Well, that's the base. I can expand on it.
Gotcha.
But I mean, if he's done it, why should I go through the hard work of figuring out the basics if they're already present?
Fair. That's fair.
It just doesn't make sense to me to waste that time.
What about a color scheme?
I think this is important. I haven't decided. I have a couple ideas. There's obviously I could go earth tones, but earth tones don't really stand in line with the hero goals I have in mind. As Thomas looks up an actual color scheme to confirm something before saying it. The difficulty I'm having is with the person I want to be. I'm finding a name. Like, the identity I have is so different than my power. And I'm trying to figure it out. But I was feeling like, blues and pinks.
Like the flag.
Yeah. But specifically, like, well, what does that got to do with being a deer? But like,
but it's what's doing with being the hero. I mean, what does white have to do with blood and bat wings?
Yeah, but you still have the vampire design.
Which might change because it depends on.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
The wind might catch.
We'll figure it out. But yeah, I feel like we both have a hero identity that's very different than what our power is, but also, like, our power is inescapable. Yours is like how you're gonna have to function, and mine is literally on my head.
A little bit.
I can't just hide it. Like, that's me. So I think that's kind of what we gotta figure out. Is you and me. We gotta figure out that
the in-betweens.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, might be sort of a rude personal question?
That's fine.
Do your antlers fall off every year?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have a collection at home. I was actually kind of hoping one day that because that's sort of like a shedding of personage and identity, like that it's just changed. That's how my life is. That I don't want to like forget who I was or how I came here, and that's not the case for everyone, but that's my case. So I was gonna like I've been keeping them because they're actually really hard and durable, and I was gonna try and make my first suit out of those.
That's such a wonderful idea.
Thanks.
That's awesome. And you could even, if you're doing it as protection, and you've already got sort of the spikes built in, they could also be weapons. Because you're hitting people with them.
Oh, and then
you
I
could
don't just have to hit him with my horns.
Exactly. It could also be the spikes. Your punch would
You're not
hurt,
just hitting
your
them with your
elbow would
horns.
hurt.
You're hitting them with your horns.
Exactly. It could.
What if I'm all horns?
People might make jokes about that.
I don't care.
You'd be all spiky and stuff. You'd be more like a hedgehog than a deer.
That's the hedgehog stance.
No, that's the deer's.
No, a deer is like this. A hedgehog is like this.
Hedgehogs are more front.
They got less neck.
Less neck. That's the difference between a deer and a hedgehog.
Yes.
That's it.
That's the only
That's
one.
the only
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
If Thea's dad is Buck Wild, her hero name is gonna be Deer Abby.
No.
Jane Doe.
What popped to my mind? What popped to my Jane Doe or Doebuck was actually what
Jane Doe.
Jane Doe. I like Jane Doe.
I actually really love Jane Doe
Mm-hmm.
because that fits so much in line with being like an icon instead of a person.
Uh-huh.
It's me. I can also see a hero just announcing, "I'm Jane Doe," and the enemy like, "What? That's what?
Try look me up, motherfucker.
Like the unidentified body?
Yep, that's what you're about to be.
What?"
So that's that little lunchtime interaction with
That's
Thea.
so cute.
Like you make eye contact with Aries at some point, and he's like,
Like, okay.
like he waves, and then like his tray nervously starts shaking.
If he looks lost while searching for a seat, I'd send a message like, if you want to sit with us, like you don't have to stand.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good. We were just talking about costumes and
Rin
things.
stops all conversation at the super martial arts table and focuses her attention like a fucking laser. Mid conversation, she's like, "Shut up."
I'm listening. Little opera glasses, reading lips.
What's going on over there?
Costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
Just wondering if you thought about or how to.
Oh, me! You're asking
Yes,
me.
you.
You didn't ask with a question mark. So with a question. So how would I see a question? How would I see
Join the
words?
discussion. Talk about your costume.
My costume. I need leg warmers for sure. I already wear those.
Mm-hmm.
And he lifts one of his legs at an awkward angle. And
Please tell me they're those stupid 80s
yes,
pink.
yes, they're actually like an orange red color.
I love it.
I mean, my legs get cold because and he lifts his leg warmer up. And it's chicken leg. I mean, it's literally a person.
Chicken leg.
God, I know so many girls who would kill to have hairless legs like that.
Like that? Nuh-uh. And he puts the leg warmer back up. It also hides the fact that I have literal bird legs.
You okay there, Court?
So dumb.
Yeah, he is.
I've had this exact conversation with other human beings.
What?
Just this type of cyclical nuts.
So my costume, yeah, leg warmers. I think a scarf and like some aviator goggles.
Okay. I like it.
Like maybe a little skull cap. I don't know.
Snoopy Red Baron kind of idea.
What's a Snoopy Red Baron?
I start pulling up like
Vintage.
Peanuts vintage comics.
Oh yeah, the little dog.
Yeah.
And the Woodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the aviator goggles, the Red Baron thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Leg warmers and some pilot's gear.
I think Raptor was a kind of plane. I might be wrong.
I don't know. I don't want to be a plane.
No, but
does
it
my
gives
costume
the
make
gives
me-
the soaring like fighting image.
Yeah, it does.
God.
And the conversation grinds to a halt.
Yep.
Oh.
gives him fashion advice.
We both do. We spend the entire thing like pulling out like magazines and Pinterest boards.
And he's like, yeah, I don't feel attacked right now at all.
We're supporting you.
Feel
We're
supported.
at her table like, I think it's going well. I think this is date worthy.
Maybe.
And then like towards the end, he's like, so like, was this what you wanted?
Possibly just we hadn't talked a lot in any kind of
yeah,
group.
I'm
so
supposed
like,
to ask you questions.
no, you don't have to. It's
And
okay.
takes out
Oh,
index
God.
cards.
I just sort of look at Fia, I did the wrong thing.
Okay, and
It's not,
like,
it's not like
he's
you don't
very
have to have
robotic.
index card. It's okay.
were you born with your wings?
Yes, they were very, very small, and I couldn't use them until I was like 11.
Oh, cool. My feathers came in around like 12.
Okay.
But like, I always had the talons.
That must have been horrible when you were playing like hide and seek or tag when you were younger.
I couldn't play tag when I was younger. I'd hurt people. Okay.
Hurt people.
And then he flips to the next index card. When did you know you had powers?
I like the wings. The wings were always sort of there, and then the other stuff kind of
Like the same time?
little bit later. I just thought I was really good at hearing until I figured out
Yeah.
that it wasn't hearing. It's just the easiest way to describe that I can sense all of the blood and heartbeats within a 100-foot radius of me.
And his starts speeding up. That's really cool.
No, it's not. It's kind of terrifying and really noisy and really distracting.
I'm sorry, I can't quiet my
No,
heartbeat.
that's
I
no.
can
that's-
leave.
No,
You can
No,
once.
no, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean to make it awkward.
You guys.
Fia, when did you start charging people?
And she's like, no, this is about you.
She's like, no.
Just wait, Fia, you're not helping.
I knew I had my powers when I was born with talons.
Well, you're not self-aware clinically until you're 3, so you would have been 3 when you knew.
That's cool. I didn't know that. That's like a smart thing. You're smart. That's cool.
This poor dumb boy.
Yep.
You could call him a bird brain.
Yeah, you could.
You said your wings were usable at like age 10. Were they?
No, not
were they
10,
always
like
not
12.
age 10, 12? Were they always like the same color? Because I know like raptors, like in the wild, like the younger ones will have like less colorful plumage.
I've
than the
molted a couple times if that's what you're asking.
Well, I didn't know if like the color change had also happened or if you were born with the colors already.
It's usually stuck to the same color as my hair.
Okay. So was your hair a different color when you were younger?
Probably. When I was born, I probably had a lot less of it too.
I don't know. I suppose it would depend on if you counted like down feathers as hair.
Do you count feathers as hair?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of it in the context of being born with or without hair.
I mean, I wasn't born with feathers, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I said they came in at 12. And
Oh.
you said 10, and I said no 12.
I thought you just meant you couldn't use your wings until
No, I
then.
had talons as I
Okay.
was born, my poor mother, and then I grew feathers when I was 12, which you said
Gotcha.
10, and I said 12.
Mhm. And now we're here. Fia, say something.
What do you want me to say?
No, Fia, help.
Rin just nodding. This is going very well, I can tell.
This is
And so
awesome.
Fia leans and she goes, so Aries, have you ever met another hero who can contest you in the skies as well as Allie?
Oh my
Yes.
savage!
And he's like,
Wing
I don't know.
woman.
the wing woman to the wing woman.
Yep.
and you feel a little like kick from a hoof under the table. It's like a bap.
Just stop it.
I mean, like actually, back where I'm from, not a lot of people had powers that could even get in the sky, and here, like, almost everyone can.
Right.
Like,
Just ran from the corner.
it's
Bullshit, isn't it?
I just, like, I'm getting used to that, and I guess I'm so used to going up against people who who couldn't do that,
Mm-hmm.
that now that everyone can, I'm having to readjust how I approach things. But, like, even if you couldn't, you could still get me with that cool power. Like, dude.
We'll keep working on the definition of cool.
Cool power.
No,
Can
no.
disable a villain at long range. I can't do that. I can scream. Great.
So can everyone. You're not special.
He literally
Brain
used
from
it
the
on
corner.
you.
And I was fine.
I mean, the scream worked fairly well on me, I'll say that much.
Thanks.
If you were to shriek, I don't think I'd be able to use the other stuff.
The hearing stuff.
Well, because
It's not hearing, but that's how you describe it. Probably.
and
something.
if I can't
Yeah.
hear it, I can't use it.
I'm trying to figure out how to use my weirdest power.
What's your weirdest power?
Can you lay eggs?
I'm still developing it, but you'll be one of the first to know. I might need your help. Because, like, if you're afraid that people are afraid of your power, I'm afraid people are afraid of this one, so...
Can you throw your talons at people?
No, I'm working on figuring that one out, though. Not talons, but feathers. I want to figure out how to do, like, a wah. But I can't do that yet.
Let's go.
They might not have to be yours. You could have, like...
Detachable or razor
Detachable
wire
or, like,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
I've thought about it. But no, like... And he looks and, like, there's a couple eyes on him. And he's like, nope, not while people are looking.
What can he do?
Allie, like, moves her wings around the three of them.
Okay. Allie, come to the other room with me.
Oh boy.
Rin is sitting at this table, the wings go up, and she's like, oh, it's going very well. Oh, my girl. Allie, you vixen. I'm filled with so much curiosity.
As the wings unfold, I don't know what Fia's face would be, but Allie is just sort of
First kiss. That was a first kiss that just happened.
horrified.
Fia's eyes are just like...
There's a little bit of terrified, like, what the fuck? That's okay. That was
Yeah, you
awesome.
see why I don't... but I bet that could be a really good tactic in the middle of a...
I think so.
That was a first kiss, but it did not go well, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
He's gonna regurgitate
I
on
was
him.
gonna say.
Oh, God.
That's exactly what I was thinking, though.
Yeah.
Especially because in the other room going, oh my god! I was like, what do birds do that's weird?
Yeah, but, just so it doesn't catch you off guard, if and when it happens.
When I throw up in your mouth. Feed you like a baby
okay,
bird.
Okay,
Nope.
this is Thomas doing this.
Nope.
Vomit is one of my triggers.
Yep.
Got it.
Let's not.
Yep.
Let's stop that, please.
Also,
Thank you.
yep. Nope. Throw it away.
Do we need a moment?
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
Yep.
More than allowed.
I will go use the restroom.
Yeah.
What weird thing do birds do then?
Birds do a lot of weird things, Corey.
I know, but I'm trying to think of a especially weird one.
With owls, you can see their eyes through their ears.
I love that about owls. Owls are
Have
crazy.
you looked at Aries' ears?
What kind of a raptor is he?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
What kind of bird of prey is he?
Dun dun. This whole time I was imagining like a hawk or a falcon.
Hummingbird.
Yeah, there's parakeets on YouTube that I follow. There's two of them, Alex and Dominic, and Alex is called the honking bird because all he will do when he's happy is
Cute.
It
Yeah.
is real cute.
Dominic is his son and has
Yeah.
the Screm song.
Yeah. Dominic does the scrim.
My favorite birds are, there were these birds that the cartel essentially was moving illegally in South America, and they ended up getting caught and ended up freeing the birds back into the wild because they weren't bred captive. They were just like wild birds that they're bringing in. But the cartel had sworn so much around the birds that the birds were mimicking the cursing, and when they went out into the wild, other flocks
Learn
began
it.
to adapt their flock calls to just very loud Brazilian curse words.
I love it.
So there for a while there was flocks of birds in Brazil that would just fly overhead and be like fuck 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 fuck. And they are my favorites.
I
I
love
support them endlessly.
It's glorious.
That's a lot of fun. But that is our lunchtime interaction.
Yep.
That's a nice little button to end that on. We move from lunch to combat theory to PE, and when my players are all sitting at the table, from PE to extracurriculars. You don't have to apologize. I'm just not going to start without y'all.
Gotta get that cold water in the fridge.
Meme water.
There's cold water in the fridge. It's been a running thing that we've said in this group for so long now.
No, was it meme water?
Because that's the meme. There's cold water in the fridge. Even when there's not cold water in the fridge, we say
But
that.
it's not funny.
It's an inside joke.
How is it a joke? It's just a true factual statement.
But there's not always cold water in the fridge.
There is.
But not always.
What? I'm confused.
It's meme water because it's kept at 69 degrees.
Hey!
No,
Nice.
if our fridge is 69 degrees, we're all getting food poisoning.
So
Yeah,
42.0 then.
Yeah, 40,
Yeah.
Yes.
42.
Which is also in the danger zone.
Yeah.
Must be 41 or under.
Yep.
It's just the water. Everything else is colder.
It's got its own little space heater.
Yeah, there's a space heater in
It's
our
a s-
fridge for our water.
It's permanent sous vide.
We have a sous vide running in our fridge just for the water.
Just for the meme.
Sous vide?
It means cooked in a bag.
Yeah, it's a cooking technique where you vacuum seal the food and you put it in a water bath that is at a specific temperature, and it cooks the thing until it reaches that temperature. It happens very slowly, usually over like a couple of hours, but it results in the thing being perfectly cooked.
Yeah, sous
But
vide
if-
food is amazing.
But if you do it with meat, it comes out weird. You have to sear the meat when you're done, or else it's just kind of boiled meat.
Yeah.
It's good boiled meat.
You're like, this is the correct temperature
Boy,
and
this
correct doneness, but
this isn't gonna give me salmonella, but man, this is a mouthfeel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more. I think it's more common to sous vide like.
Eggs and things.
Yeah,
Eggs.
eggs are a big one.
Yeah.
I'm ready if everyone else is.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's punch some things.
Okay, and so we move to the all club event.
Dun, dun, dun.
As everyone moves everyone moves their way to the auditorium as opposed to the regular class meetups, and Virgil is like not the last to arrive, but he kind of makes his way in, and he's actually walking with a cane right now.
Oh.
An anime, that means he's dying.
Or more powerful than everyone else combined.
Yep.
Those
One-
at once.
Those are the only two options.
And so he makes his way in. And you notice that the auditorium has been set up to facilitate the clubs. Like, there's a corner of it that's set up with cooking equipment. Like, there's an oven and, like a crock pot on a counter and, like,
They have enough time to use a crock
frying
pot?
pans.
Jesus.
All made out of aluminum.
A crazy crock pot.
God damn.
You've got, like, the center is sort of carved out into this mimicry of the battle ring that you guys have for your class in club, and the third section of the gym, like, or rather, most of the airspace of the gym has hoops and rings set up, but there's a couple platforms that are hovering in the room to help with, like, mobility for anyone who wishes to participate. There's all of the club heads are there at their sort of respective stations, but Virgil, like, takes a seat in the auditorium stands, and he's like, "Hi, everyone. Today we'll go about your things as normal. I'm just trying to get an eye on what all's happening in these clubs, because, you know, I'm the principal of the school, and I'd like to know what's happening in these clubs. Yes,
Are you okay?
I'm all right. I've been feeling pretty awful lately."
Just let one of us know if you want to kind of like be carried around.
I do not need that. Thank you.
No, but you may want it.
Thank you. I'm fine. Do your club things.
Let's fight!
Okay, so so everyone kind of goes into the clubs. And it's not just those 3 clubs. Like drawing club has to be here, and there's a couple other clubs kind of set up throughout. But
they're vaguely in the background and don't need to be described.
Yep.
Yeah.
The people are not really colored in. They're just the vague crowd shapes.
Big silhouettes.
Yes,
Yeah.
with hair palettes ranging from brown to black. It's their background.
Mm-hmm.
And their uniforms are all gray and gold. And so, yeah, you guys break into your clubs, and you go about your activities. Cooking club's having a blast with, like, their actual equipment. And every now and then some of the teachers who aren't in charge of these various clubs come over and just check it out. Like, Boris comes over to Cooking Club at one point. He's like, oh, you're using chemicals.
Chemicals in the kitchen.
Yes. You know my power is to ignite.
And then everyone in the room is like,
Did you know flour dust is combustible?
He's like, if you need someone to, I don't know, add a bit of spice or pop to your dishes, I could always help.
What's he gonna make? Borscht?
Borscht? Just, if there's some sort of food that you would like to try that, it has to ignite to a certain specific temperature, but we don't have the time in the class or club period to do so. If you let me know, I could participate and help and get it to exact temperature 2-3 seconds top.
Today's thing is creme brulee.
I was thinking the same thing. Charbroiled steak and creme brulee.
Just saying. You have a good time, you young chefs. Okay, see you tomorrow. And he wanders off.
I feel bad for the teachers that didn't get approached to head up a extracurricular
there are
then.
more clubs. We're only a couple weeks in.
Yeah, there's more clubs that you guys are
Isaac
part
will
of.
think
Like,
of something.
I'll tell you right now, every teacher's in here. At some club.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
They're checking out each other's handiwork.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's like a book club, of course, and we all know who's in charge of that. It's Megaphone. And like
Not the librarian?
Oh no.
Michael Burns?
No, it's not Mikhail.
What?
It's Megaphone. Because in the corner, in the sultriest,
He's
smoothest
reading out
voice you've
loud.
ever heard, he's reading out loud to the students.
Baba, black
I'm just picturing
sheep.
it's just a
Have
group
you
of students
any-
looking at him
Oh
like
no,
this.
100%. There's like 3 or 4 students who are like listening along, nodding intently, taking notes, and then there's like a gaggle of like boys and girls, because we future now.
Just drooling.
Just drooling over his voice.
I imagine there's a study club too, like just
Yeah.
a general.
Yeah,
we're
no,
here to do work.
Rita is heading that.
Nice.
Not a teacher,
She is.
just Rita.
You go, Rita.
That
Live your
makes-
truth.
Goddamn.
She got special permission slips.
Fuck
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, and she's got like a group of people from class 1B, 1C, and even like classes 2 through 4, like
Damn.
all together, just studying.
You go, Rita.
Yeah.
Gonna unite
I have a
everyone.
feeling she's gonna consistently be like a not important character in your class, but she's gonna make this world rich. And eventually, some of the club activities die out and peter out, and Virgil calls over Megaphone, who eventually he just presses this little button on his collar, and his voice echoes through the room. Hello, everyone. Our wonderful president has asked if a couple of you could stay after, just for a moment. He'd like to discuss some things with you. I'm gonna read off a name of a list of names, and if you're a name of lists. If you're if your name's not on this list, don't worry. And if your name is on this list, don't worry. We just want to have a chat. If I could get Miss Rin Himura.
Yes.
Ali, Angelica. She prefers Ali, so whoever that is. Isaac Tonu, Robin Lewis, Terrence and Rex Friedman, and Kurt D. Howitzer, the third.
That's a very specific list.
Everyone else, you are free to go. And thank you for letting Virgil participate in your extracurricular activities. I'm certain the perspective has helped in some way, shape, or form. Thank you. And then he just turns that little mic off.
Like, do they want to talk right now?
Well, after the club.
And Virgil begins hobbling his way down the stairs.
I think he wants to talk now. I think he's walking towards.
Robin floats her way down from the access cloud.
I finished basically the page that I had arrived to speed read after visiting everything
You
for like 5
definitely
minutes.
went to every
Okay, I got a page.
He even reads the page number. He's like 92.
Yeah, study club is the hardest one for you because reading. So it's just like a minute of silence because you feel like you have to participate.
Number 3. Done.
Yeah. And eventually, the little conspiracy group is left, and you're with Virgil, and everyone else leaves, and Megaphone just gives a quiet nod and closes that last door behind him and leaves as well. So it's just the 6 of you and Virgil.
Robin shoots a
6,
glare
1, 2, 3, 4,
at Kurt.
7 of you and Virgil, and Kurt shoots it back with an eyebrow raised.
Oh, pow.
Hello, everyone.
Afternoon.
Yeah, it is the time of day. I have a feeling you might know why I've called this group together. Well, no one's taking initiative, so I guess I'll have to. Each and every one of you has been affected by a villain recently. Each and every one of you has had to deal with the repercussions of a villain's actions, be it directly, and he looks at the 4 of you, and Rex as well, or indirectly, and at that he looks at Terrence and Kurt. Kurt, I'm certain you've not felt great knowing that students were lifted from the campus despite your best efforts at the security measures. Terrence, I'm certain the fear you felt for your brother's disappearance was palpable. And as for the rest of you, I mean, you were there. So, I wanted to check in with all of you and make sure you're all doing okay.
I feel great.
I physically can't be doing bad.
Emotionally, too.
Oh, probably.
Just, we tried to address it with a band-aid in the curriculum, and that was not the appropriate methodology. I think it is important that you hear it directly from me, that we are genuinely sorry for everything that happened.
Do you need water?
My throat is fine, thank you. I'm not parched, is what I meant to say. Excuse me for a moment. He just closes his eyes for a second, and you watch his body goes into an almost perfect still. After about a minute of just silence in the room, he breaks that trance. I wanted to make sure you're all okay. Kurt talked about and showed initiative with the architect for extra training so that you would be a little better prepared if, and I do mean if, it were to happen again. The difficulty is we have to play by rules and the villains don't, so as much as I hate to admit it, there is probably a likelihood, if that is their goal, that they will do it again. Whatever it is. I'm sorry, And then, Allie, you can remember how last time I described his heart beating just a little faster than normal? As you're kind of owning in on it, concerned that something may be wrong with him, it's not beating any faster. There's another heartbeat.
He's pregnant.
This is the future!
The big reveal is to the 7 of you, I'm pregnant. My child will be growing up in a world where you're the hero.
We're changing your enemies. This is now slice of life.
I'm so sorry I just did that.
He's pregnant. Yeah, you hear a second heartbeat.
Sir, have you had a CAT scan recently?
No.
I think you should have one. if I tell you that you have 2 hearts, are you gonna look at me like I'm crazy? Yes. Because it sounds like it.
2.
So I think like something's wrong with
And
your
then-
heart, and you should.
Then that sound stops, and you just hear the 1. And everyone make me a very hard perception check. I'm talking DC 25.
I physically can't make that.
Oh, nope.
I got a 17, so like.
You said 25?
Mm-hmm.
I physically can't make that, but I'm gonna roll it anyways.
Nat 20 is out of +5.
Okay. I still got a 21.
Okay, and then I do technically have to roll. Okay, that's a nat 1 from.
Oh.
Okay, none of the others. None of the others. Oh, and then I actually have to roll Virgil as well. Virgil does not notice. And suddenly some of the robots that had been commissioned and been used by the mixed martial arts group start to into life. And they like move their upper torso and then take that weird like awkward step as they adjust their lower half. And like this group of maybe 9 or 10 robots begin moving in your direction.
Hey, Kurt.
Kurt, is this
are those
normal?
yours?
This shouldn't be happening.
Allie, get the principal out.
Why me? I can't
Everyone roll
carry
for
anyone.
They don't have blood.
I can't carry people.
Gotta-
Ooh, that's a nat 1.
13.
Okay, 1 second. Let me move to my scratch paper. Okay. 13. Remember to add your agility, everyone.
13.
8,
7.
15.
7, 15. Virgil, Guy. Who rolled the 8?
That was Robin.
Reroll.
I got 8 again.
Virgil nat 20'd on that, so
Nice.
Virgil was technically before you.
That's totally fine with me.
Robin. 7 was
Isaac.
Isaac. 15.
Allie.
Allie. So 13 was Rin.
Rin.
Okay, and then I have Terrence at let's just put him there. And Rex is gonna go here. And then finally we have Kurt. Kurt is also going to go here. So everyone kind of springs into life as these robots do, knowing something is up even if they don't know quite what it is. And Rex immediately grabs Virgil and like firemans him over his shoulders. He's like, "Sorry, old man, but you got too much of a limp right now." And just like, he's like, "You guys got this?"
Duh.
And he
Sure.
just out the door.
Nice. Bye.
This is
And
nothing more than a fancy scarecrow.
then it's Kurt, who he's confused, and he like pulls out this little flip book of notes and just begins spending his turn frantically scanning through it. And Allie, you're actually at the top of the initiative order.
It's a 25 perception, which I can't physically roll. Is there?
That was for that moment.
Gotcha. Now, can I try and hear, because the heartbeat vanished and then they woke up, can I try to...
Would you like to identify where that heartbeat is?
I would love to.
Okay, for that, please make me a perception check, and if you have any situational bonuses for hearing, then go ahead and add those.
I don't think you do.
For
Because I
hearing...
think we failed to give you the actual sensory stuff.
The thing is, she just doesn't take penalties until you surpass 100 feet.
Got it.
Only if it's an attack.
So make me a
Does it-
perception check.
Cool.
Perceive.
That's a 12.
Yeah, the din of battle has just begun. Everyone's hearts are beating a little faster now that something's going on. And so if there is another heartbeat in there, it's kind of hard to hear it.
That makes sense.
What would you like to do with your movement?
That's-
There's a group of, like I said, 10 robots or so coming at you. They're moving at a speed rank of 2, so they'll clear this auditorium relatively quickly once they start moving. That's 120 feet per round.
I would like to make an attempt to fly up and grab one of the rings that the Z-Axis Club
For sure,
was
that'll
using
be the end of your turn.
to just like see if it moves from its spot.
It is currently locked. Like you pull it. It's a tight pull. But Kurt does take notice, and on his turn, he'll be able to do something about that. Rin, you're up next.
Rin does what Rin does and jumps at the robots.
Yeah.
Okay.
First robot she reaches, a very clean just haymaker through the head.
Yeah.
Natural 20!
And that robot is obliterated.
She basically just lunges straight through and just takes the whole head with her as she lands, spins, and throws the head at another one.
Take down.
Yep.
That's a 12.
12 is not going to beat their parry.
Dang.
Their dodge, because you said throw.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not going to beat that. And after Rin jumps into combat, we move to Virgil, who he's like, yep, as he's carried out.
He agrees.
Yeah, because he doesn't have any of his gear on him. And then we shift to Robin.
Robin is going to yell at Rex and Virgil as he's being carried out. I think it's cytophage. And then turn back to the robots. Who's mentioned?
The side effect is Cancer Boy.
I know.
Oh, he's the one who can turn into cancer in your body, isn't he?
The
health
second problem. The
health problem and the second
Okay.
heartbeat.
I thought you meant it for the robots.
Yeah, I was like, what?
No,
Yeah, for a second I was like,
no, the health problem.
Sure.
Also, what do these robots look like, DM?
Imagine, okay, yeah, I was being vague so you can fill it in, but if you want a specific, imagine, like, this kind of green aluminum sort
Are
of
they
metal
human
look.
shaped or are they like sphere shaped?
Imagine their legs are, I can draw a quick diagram.
Because I was picturing like balls with legs. And then Rin knocked a head off, so I just want to clarify what shape they are.
they have discernible heads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Humanoid or ball?
They're vaguely humanoid.
Cool, that's all I need, thanks.
I was
Robin.
imagining like Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Yeah, this is my very basic illustration here.
Cool, I accept, thank you.
Stickmen, but with horns.
Yeah, that's what that is. No, I have a specific visual in my head, but I'm not an artist.
Understood.
Not a visual artist.
Cool. So yells that, and then auditorium is pretty clear at this point.
Throw an oven.
Get the crock pot out.
Yeah, I guess I would run over to Cooking Club and like try to huck a cast iron at one of them.
Cast iron?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
Cast iron is hardness 7.
I love it.
She's gonna
Let's
cast
go.
iron.
I cast iron.
I cast iron.
As an improvised weapon. So that's a 20 to hit.
Okay. Not natural though?
Correct.
Okay. Despite being a couple range increments away, you do manage to hit one of them.
Nice.
And that cleanly just like crushes the circuitry in its head, and it
Cool.
and powers down.
Get wrecked.
So
Right.
we
like
have
that noise.
7 left?
7 or 8. At the moment, no one's taken a second to like actually actively
Yeah.
This isn't Call of Cthulhu. I don't have accounting.
And then we're gonna shift to the robots. So the first thing that happens is the oven tries to grab you.
Oh! I'm sorry.
Mimics.
That's a nat 20.
No!
So,
eats
Robin, you are currently grabbed,
God damn
and
it!
I'm trying to find
I'm
which
always
of these
grabbed.
applies. You're definitely immobile,
Cool.
and I want to say I'll throw impaired on top of that.
Cool.
So you cannot move, and you are at a -2 penalty on your checks
Cool.
as the oven grabs you. And then promptly, the blender turns on and falls and begins hobbling towards you. Like, just hopping. It has a speed rank of, like -2.
What, you mean it doesn't have articulated limbs
So
too?
it
Jesus.
will get to you next turn. And that's that situation. Was there any more?
Not my kitchen. Not my kitchen.
Yeah, the crockpot jumps off and begins making its way towards the these guys. And
Is it, like,
with its power
rolling with,
its
like-
power cord, it grabs the lid and begins like
No!
twirling it.
Crying little toaster nonsense.
Oh no! It's great you mentioned the toaster, as the toaster probably falls
And spits toast at her.
pulls back.
Ah! Robin!
No, Robin is only being threatened by the blender and the stove.
You say that like it's nothing.
As the rest of the kitchen ensemble are coming your way with
kitchen
projectile weapons. And actually, the crockpot's gonna try and throw its lid. And it's gonna throw at Terrence, who hasn't had a chance to go yet.
Nat 20? Oh my god, these appliances are so dangerous!
As Terrence makes a toughness check.
Oh, he rolled a 1, didn't he?
It suffers 4 wounds.
Terrence gets knocked out by a
Rock
pot.
spot. This lid goes darting
Discus.
in out of nowhere, just boom.
Slow cooker my ass!
Yeah, slow cooker my ass. He just got fried. As Terrence, crock pot
He's
out.
out cold.
Terrence is out cold. The toaster's got to wait a turn before its attack can go off, and then the robots are gonna come at you guys. So I've got 7 robots coming in.
Rin's also in the middle of them all.
Mm-hmm.
How in the time?
7 robot, toaster, oven. Not the toaster oven.
The
crock
toaster
pot,
oven's a different guy. He's support.
and then the blender. Okay, and those are acting with the robots. And yeah, I love this. Oh, I missed one person in the initiative. Well, they'll just go last because I forgot to roll for them.
They're panicked.
The robots, I'm gonna say 3 are gonna stick on you, and 1's gonna run. 2 are gonna run at these guys each.
Okay.
Because you're in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, oh, Kurt, yeah, 2 are gonna run at Kurt, 2 are gonna run at you, and the other 4 are gonna stick on you.
Bring it on, you glorified computers.
The 1 miss, 2 miss, green miss, and your parry is
14.
14, so that's gonna be 1 hit. So go ahead and make me a toughness check.
I got a 16.
16 is going to be enough to just shrug off the damage.
So it's a parry, and then she goes high, but it hits low, and she.
You just
Flex
your abs as this robot. And it did connect, however, so I do need you to make a fortitude save.
Oh.
As a jolt
14.
just kind of runs, and you are currently hindered as there's some electricity kind of moving through your body.
Half speed.
Yeah, you
Well, luckily I'm already at
you
them.
lose 1 speed rank, so you go to half speed. That is the robots. Then we move to Isaac.
I'm going to spray the accurate unarmed multi-attack on all 4 of them that are harrying Kurt and myself.
They're not quite close enough. You and Kurt are kind of a distance apart, so you'll be able to go for 2 of them.
I will be going after the 2 that are harrying Kurt.
Got it.
Specifically. The other 2 will have to chase me.
Yep.
Though, okay, now that would have to be in arc, so move by attack is not going to apply.
Yeah.
Right, so okay, 25.
Yep.
And 27.
Yep.
So they'll be making. Question first and foremost: how many degrees on 25 and 27, respectively?
It's gonna be 2 and 3.
Okay, 2 and 3. So the first one will have to make a toughness. I believe it will be 14. Then
Failure.
Second one, DC 17.
Also a failure. As you come in and just clean these robots up, how do you do that?
It's just gonna be flying in, grabbing like one, like their antenna, because you have antenna on either one, and then gravity flips, so they go into the air. We flip over and land on Kurt's other side and
Cute.
drive them both into
That's super cool.
Cool.
ground. Then looking back, because I can move by attack.
You still got your move.
And I still got movement. Yeah. Want to go up?
That's Kurt.
Mhm.
And he's like, no.
Okay. Then I will use the rest of my move to stand in between him and the remaining 2.
Okay, and then we move to the bottom of our initiative, where what we see happen is some of those floating rings
Oh, God.
shake
God damn it.
and then begin like rotating
That's what I was gonna do with them.
in place, like sort of spiraling and generating enough speed that like there's heat coming off of them, and you can no longer hold on.
Yeah,
to this
nope.
thing.
God damn it.
As
I was gonna do a cool discus.
yeah.
You're gonna have a Tron moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's go ahead and say 5 of these. And one of them is in particular going to zoom towards Kurt. As it is going to make an attack against his parry, which he fails. And you watch as it comes to hit him and floats up and locks around him.
Oh.
Shit.
And then just promptly tightens.
Flex, Kurt,
And
flex!
constricts
There's
his arms to his
nothing to
sides.
flex.
The other 4, I'm going to send 1 at each player character. You're currently grappled, so I'm going to
Yeah.
send 2 at Isaac, and then 1 at each of you.
Ah, you weak-ass motherfuckers!
I have your stats, so I don't need to ask. This is why I asked for stats. Isaac, you nimbly dodge both of these things as they're coming in, and they cannot get a...
Twist in between.
You do a quick little B-twist barrel roll. Allie, the one you were about to grab, is going to try and, like, just
Grab me
razor-
back.
Not grab.
Oh.
It's trying to burn into you. Yeah. Your parry is...
Not great.
An 11.
It's an 11.
It's not pretty.
We'll
How
work on
damaged am I?
We'll work on that.
So, you need to make a toughness check, because it hit.
Yep. Question, just because since I am in the air and I get a favorite environment air bonus thing, do I add the attack or defense? So this is it's a toughness, never mind. Ignore the question.
If it is for defense, does that mean your parry and your dodge go up when you're in the air?
To my understanding.
Then the numbers he had, do those account for the favored?
I still hit.
Okay.
Her parry's still an 11 at base, and it rolled very well.
Yeah. Then toughness 17 check.
Okay. You actually do not take any damage from this, as it, like, the heat comes close to you, and you're, like, gusting it away just enough, so it's like this almost tug-of-war that tries to get
Air
at you.
hockey.
Yeah, but you know, if it does manage to get through the like,
Tango.
what's the word? The billowing gust you're putting out at it, which is just the flavor for this, then it will hurt, because you can feel that heat. It's like Rin. And then we have one coming at Rin.
Fight me, you bastard!
And your parry
It's 14.
is 14, so it will hit. Go ahead and make me a toughness check.
Ow. That is a 15.
15, you're going to take 1 wound, as this heat, this one, the heat's not what hurts. You're used to heat. It's just the bludgeoning as it rams into you and just boom.
She's like, okay, I get it.
And that ends all of their turns, because I said 2 at you, 1 at each of you, and 1 is on Kurt.
Yes.
Yep.
So let me just make a quick note of that.
I'm surrounded and I couldn't be happier.
It's a target-rich environment.
I'm in a target-rich environment. It's like I'm in downtown LA.
Oh, God.
Because there's a target every other block down there.
A little bit.
And then we're back to the top of the initiative, which will bring us to
Kurt.
Rex?
Rex has already gotten his person out. Kurt is grappled. He's going to try and break it,
That's understandable.
but he's going to make a technology check to do so.
Ooh!
Smart.
Let's go.
And he is going to 14. Fail by 1.
Oh!
As you watch, like, from his wrist, this little, like, sonic screwdriver looking implement comes out, and he just points it and starts, like, twisting his fingers to try and, like, disable this tech that he has designed. And for whatever reason, it can't work. And because he can't physically touch the thing, he can't scrap it.
Oh, that sucks.
And then we're moving to Allie. Rin, you're on deck.
Yeah.
I'm going to remove
That-
Rex and Virgil from the initiative order, as well as Terrence, because Terrence is fucking down. By a crockpot.
Rex was like, the biggest surprise you've ever seen. I can carry a man. And Terrence was like, boom.
Started moving, and that took away what I was gonna do.
Do it anyway. Throw the moving thing.
No.
Discus
I'm
your
not gonna-
enemies.
No, I'm not gonna try and grab it.
That's
That
understandable.
sounds like a bad idea.
That is understandable.
Can't do shit with these. You know what? We're gonna try and see what happens.
Blood is a liquid.
It is. So I'm going to, because I'm the only person who's close and all my friends probably need theirs. Just, I'm going to roll and then see if it works. And then I can describe it. I'm trying to do,
What are you trying to do before you roll?
I'm going to use my blast attack to hit the thing.
Okay,
But she's using her own blood as ammunition.
that's fine.
Okay, cool.
And then a fancy description if it hits.
Got it.
There's that +2 in there too. 11 + 2 gets me to a.
11 + 4.
That says a +6 over here. That's right, because the whole bonus is a +6 because of this up here.
Oh,
Don't you have your aerial advantage?
Yes, that's what we were just looking at.
I'm doing the all of the numbers. There's too many damn numbers.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's okay.
11 plus the 6. If I'm doing that
17's
right.
gonna be a hit.
17.
Awesome. So it's
What's the toughness check it has to make?
DC 19.
Oh, it fails.
Sweet.
How do you obliterate this discus?
She basically reaches to her arm, and it looks like she just pulls a whip out of it and slices it in half. Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
Disgusting. I love it.
Gross.
I'm just gonna remove that one from you.
And then you still have a move action.
Mm-hmm.
Can I use my move action
Thank you for
attack
saving me some
again?
palm seeds earlier.
No.
No.
Objectively not.
This is not Pathfinder 2nd edition.
Had to try.
God, combat mode are so fun. Not sponsored.
I'm just gonna sort of, I guess, kind of square up against the other ones.
Yeah.
And is there
like
is
I
there a
said,
brace function? Is there a brace equivalent in this
Not as a
system?
move action.
No, not as a move action.
Okay.
You can use your standard to take an active defense, but you have already utilized your standard, as it were. Regardless, the others aren't in the air. As you turn, you deal with your one, and you have one grabbing Kurt, one that just pummeled into Rin, and two that are like on either side of Isaac. Try and get it, but he's doing this dodgy, darty dance. And Allie, you just whip and eviscerate this one, and turn order shifts to Rin.
So, my regeneration ticks and I heal the wound. But essentially, the way that I want to flavor a power stunt is Rin was punched by this creature.
Yeah.
This robot, and it electrocuted her. And as the blood comes out, she essentially snatches it in her hand and is going to basically fan it out at all these robots now electrified to basically rain electricity through each of them. So I basically want to power stunt an area blast.
Yeah, give me that coin.
Oh my goodness, that's so cool.
You can power stunt just with extra effort.
Right.
And I'm going to do it twice.
Okay. So, are you going to use a coin to negate the downsides?
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh.
So you're gonna feel this. You're gonna feel this next turn.
Yes, I am.
So you said you're doing it twice.
I'm power stunting once for the effect to happen and once for the effect to increase.
Got it.
Because essentially, Rin, as her wounds heal, she needs to open more.
That's the tightest shit. Go ahead and make me an area blast versus their dodge.
And would I use still close attack ranks?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
That would be 20.
That is an 18.
Nice.
19 because the effect is heightened.
Yeah, because your extra effort bonus. That is gonna go ahead and hit all of them. What's the damage rank?
My damage rank on that, if we consider it a thrown weapon, it's still 21.
Okay, I gotta make 5 of these checks. You short circuit 2 of the robots.
Better than
on
0.
Yeah. As your electrified blood just like whips out, and it's also hot because it's your body, so it's a steaming electric cloud DOS2 style, just fizzing and short circuiting, and 2 of these robots just. And Rin,
I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't either.
After Rin, we move to Robin, who is currently hindered and immobile.
Who's being attacked by a blender?
Or I'm sorry, impaired and immobile.
Yeah, impaired and immobile. So I would like to.
As everyone's like got your sweater in it.
Yeah.
The blender is menacingly hopping towards you.
I know. I want to just like kick at the blender.
Okay, do it. You can totally do that. You have free feet.
Cool.
However, you have to justify to me how you get in this grapple your feet that high to get countertop.
Oh, it's at the countertop? Then it's like it's an ab movement. It's like holding on to the grapple and like kicking her.
Yeah.
Up.
Go ahead and make
Nice.
a
Butterfly
close
kicks.
attack versus the blender.
Cool.
Kill the blender, kill the blender, kill the blender, kill the blender.
Okay. Go off, squad.
I need to re-roll that. That was a 2.
Cool. That's your hero point.
That is technically better.
You have another hero point.
What's it total out to?
It totals out to 10.
That's not gonna hit anything.
No, I know.
So I use the hero point.
It's
Otherwise,
just
you're gonna get blended.
It's up to you.
Nobody else is taking care of me.
You can take care of yourself.
I'm surrounded, bitch.
Literally.
Nice.
Okay, that's a 20 not natural.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Nice.
What's the toughness rank on your unarmed strike?
That'll probably just be your strength.
Yeah, just strength, so that's a -1.
14.
So it's making a toughness check versus a 14.
Yeah.
And we rolled a 15.
Ooh.
As you kick the blender, but you don't kick through glass. You're not physically strong, but it does give you ideas for the future. As to
I
how-
already have steel-toed boots listed.
I know. There's not enough though. As we move to the robots' turns,
Oh
So-
no.
we have
I have so many.
3, 2 on the ground by Rin, 1 flying by Rin.
Mhm.
The kitchen ensemble,
The KitchenAid.
the KitchenAid, and the 1 flying on Kurt, and the 2 by Isaac. Okay,
Can I shout?
the flyers are later though.
Can I shout one thing as my free
Sure.
action? It's gonna be very obvious, but it's, oh man, the villain who came up with this must be so clever.
Rin would 100% turn to be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's hilarious. So I gotta do my ground robots. I'm gonna do my ground robots and my KitchenAid. The 2 robots on either side of you. They're gonna just waylay into you.
Try
They're
it,
making power attacks.
motherfuckers. Oh god.
Your parry is 14.
14.
Neither of them. The first one would if it weren't swinging so wild, and the second one's way off. Then I've got the toaster. It's going to make its ranged attack at
Bread!
not just bread.
Oh, bagels!
No,
Stale bagels.
knives.
Oh! It's just full of hot knives.
They're gonna fly out towards. Let's go ahead and put them at Isaac.
Okay.
Because it can't make multiple attacks as a toaster. Otherwise, it would do Isaac and then Alex.
Shotgun blast.
Yeah. Ooh, Isaac, I think that's the first hit on you this game. It rolled a natural 19, and your dodge is 20. So it is going to hit you. I need you to make a toughness check.
14.
14. You will suffer 1 wound
Oof.
as this hot knife comes crashing through and skims across your cheek. And that heat gets to you.
Comrades.
This is the first time you've been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You go, Isaac. The oven is going to go ahead and like open for a second and then try and shut again and like smash you. It's giving up the grab to do this. It grabbed you like as haha, I got you now, but now it's like bop, I'm gonna smack you. What is your parry?
Parry's just a 1.
Okay, that is going to be a critical success. No, only nat 20s are crits in this. I was doing
Unless you
Pathfinder.
had I was like, what?
I was doing Pathfinder 2nd edition rules for a second there. Okay, I need you to make me a toughness check.
Okay. Oof, that is a 13.
That is going to be 1 wound.
Okay.
So for future toughness checks, you're at a -1.
Yep.
And that's all that wound is.
These appliances are doing work. The death robots are like, they're doing okay,
Ah.
but a toaster and an oven
crockpot.
and a crockpot too. God, they are
Crockpot did work.
holy shit.
And then I've got the blender, which is going to come forward.
Oh, I'm
and
nervous about the blender.
It's going to try and make an attack against you. But you're not grappled now. So you're... I'm going to roll. And if it hits, you are welcome to try and justify something here. Just because it's a blender. And I wouldn't do this with any enemy, but it's a blender. And I imagine there's things you can do to stop that. So it definitely does not hit, as your parry overcomes its really bad roll.
My minuscule parry.
Believe me, it rolled minuscule as well. These appliances are stacked. No, as it comes at you, because it's designed to do damage, not to hit. You got one or the other. It's power level 5 blender. And so that's gonna move us from their turn. That's all of my. I missed my crockpot. The crockpot's gonna hobble towards
The crockpot of truth.
towards my boy over there. But it's not gonna get to you until next turn. But it's taken that cord and it's like lassoing now. And then we move from the robots to Isaac.
This is ridiculous.
I love this.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
So I got 2 rings next to. I don't like them because they bind, and I do not want to be playing the Binding of Isaac.
Hey! Take this.
That was good. That was good.
Okay, so we're going to flavor this later. It is spraying a multi-attack, accurate, unarmed versus the 2 rings.
Sure.
And 21. And nat 1, which I don't want to be a nat 1.
I respect that.
Yep.
25.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Much
2
better.
hits
Okay.
by 1 degree and 2 degrees.
Okay, so 1 degree will be a DC 11, and then the 2 degrees will be a DC 13.
So that's actually gonna be a success on both of their parts.
Okay.
As your multi-attack comes out and does not manage to do enough to crack their hard metallic exterior.
Okay, they need to make a against a grab, resistance check, strength or dodge versus.
They're gonna make dodge.
It is 15 was my roll on the first,
Okay, failure on the first,
and 16 on the second.
failure on the second.
Okay.
So you're now holding these. They are hot to the touch, and this will incur damage.
Okay.
If you're okay with it, you will take 1 wound for this action.
Okay. We're gonna try it.
Okay.
Because we're gonna see how it works, and we're gonna see what happens. Because move action then queues up, and strength against a 20 and a 22.
That's actually 1 success.
Okay.
They rolled a 19.
So the one
I'm
that
sorry, it's not a success. They have no strength bonus.
Okay.
You're good. It's 2.
Okay.
It's 2 successes.
and I'm going to slam them both into the ceiling.
Yeah, you're just gonna. For sure.
Now, if we want to talk mechanics wise, basically it's gravity. Mechanically, I can lift them into the air and drop them, and then fall damage incurred would be what is the ceiling distance rank?
We're gonna say it falls between distance rank 1 and 2.
Okay.
It's like 80 feet.
Okay. So if it is a 1, it'd be a damage rank 6, and if it was a 2, it'd be a damage rank 8.
So damage rank
2
7.
failures, and I know you can totally just smash them up because it's just a matter of flavor if you're flying up and dropping them or flying them to the ceiling. So you absolutely grab them both and smash them to the ceiling, but remember to incur that 1 wound.
I have.
Got it. I was about to be like, wait, why drop them? They can fly.
He was saying mechanically,
I
could just.
I figured that it was you are falling into the ceiling, but I was like, what?
Trying to make sure to
Zebra cake?
play by rules.
And just reflavoring now that it's a success. After Isaac, we move to the remaining flyers. There's one on Kurt.
Robin, you okay?
She's screaming and kicking at a blender.
Extra,
And being eaten by an oven.
extra effort can make another standard action, and charge attack is a standard action.
Yeah.
So
Towards the blender?
What is the most threatening thing that you want taken care
The
of?
blender or the oven?
The oven.
Okay,
Oven can grab.
we're gonna charge attack the oven.
Apparently.
I love this game.
13.
13 exceeds its parry of 10. It's an oven.
And then that would
Oven
be
can't parry.
I mean, it like it's flapping around.
DC 18 toughness check,
It fails that.
and the oven just. I'm sorry, that was really loud. Actually, no, it didn't.
Did ties go to defender?
No, not in the system.
Okay, then it fails on an 18 because it has toughness 10.
Into the oven.
Yeah, as you shatter the oven. And then we're gonna move to the flyers. The one on Kurt is gonna go ahead and constrict, and it does not squeeze him very hard at all. And then the one that's fighting you, Rin, it's gonna go ahead and try and bind you.
You mother oven.
Mother of it.
But it doesn't even land the hit. Despite you being like,
I've only burnt out my arms. I've still got legs.
yeah, and so you do this little dance as it rotates, and you feel that heat. Like it would absolutely try and do some dirty stuff here. That's the 2 remaining flyers, and after the flyers, we move to the special action. So the one that's around Kurt, it zaps him, just,
Oh.
and then lets go. And then his eyes sort of lift up, very puppet-like.
No.
Oh no.
Oh no!
I hate it.
And then help. And he raises a hand, and he's gonna fire a lightning bolt at Allie.
No! Allie, my girl! Allie, you gotta take him down.
That is going to hit. please make me a toughness check. DC 21.
That's a 22.
So this electric current ripples through your body,
Okay.
but you manage to resist it.
I was gonna say it's a moving through the body, and I know it's going through the blood, so I send it out the
The
blood
little
whip
whip,
I had,
yeah,
and
and
it
it
just
disperses.
zaps off into the air. It's just a rechanneling
For sure.
along the blood.
Lightning
For sure.
blood.
Super cool. You hear that help, and that second heartbeat is very visible, or audible now, coming from Kurt.
Son of a bitch.
And that moves us back to the top of the initiative order, which is Kurt, who is going to try and move his body, and fail, which moves us to Allie.
God damn it, Cat!
I got
Will
the
you
cat.
stop?
Do your thing. Do your thing.
I'd like to center in on the other heartbeat.
Sure.
Because reasoning that I've been in class with Kurt long enough that I probably can distinguish his from the second one
For
that
sure.
has appeared. And I want to roll.
You're so gentle.
We're just gonna do a weakened stamina. Oh no.
Just rip his blood out.
That was my thought. Affliction. I want to essentially reach out to that secondary heart and try and just pull it out.
Oh.
Okay,
Just-
would you like to make
that
this
will be an
a
affliction.
power stunt to try and do an alternate effect of
Because it would be yeah, I guess it would be
A
alternate
reverse
effect.
ejection.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I guess that would be.
Go
and,
ahead.
and I will spend the hero point to not take any effects from the power stunting.
Cool. So
later.
you won't be facing penalties on your turn, and I trust you two are tracking your own penalties, because
Um,
you're the two who know those rules pretty well.
So I was going to basically make it an extension of affliction.
I would like
Yes.
you to make it whatever your most accurate ranged attack modifier is.
I appreciate you for this.
That's a 6.
Yeah, that would just be at a plus.
Okay. And you're
6.
rolling versus their thing that I'm rolling behind the screen. They're
Ooh!
Yeah, they're rolling as well, so it can still work.
Mm-hmm.
What
Do
do you
you
get?
also have a hero point?
I do.
You
have
can
another
re-roll
hero
that before I declare my number, or if yours is a success or not.
point. We're gonna see.
Okay.
Because with the spending of the hero point, I still get to take the higher number.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop.
Okay, well, 7 and 6 gets me to a 13.
13 does not exceed whatever force is
Uh-huh.
currently. You feel a tug, and then you feel it tug back. As whatever's there doesn't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
You almost get the feeling that ripping it out that way might hurt Kurt.
But
So
will
I'm-
it kill him?
Maybe.
Oh,
Okay.
different story then.
Because whatever it is, it's in his blood. And that's going to move us. You still have a move action if you'd like.
That's the most ominous shit I've ever heard.
No, I'll stay in the air
Okay.
because
No contest.
partially no contest and partially I get to keep my bonus that way.
Yep. Okay. We're going to move to Rin.
All right, so
2 robots, one on either side of you. And
Both
then
of-
the floater.
both of Rin's arms are kind of out of commission for a minute
Yep.
while her blood begins pumping and churning again. So she kind of does like a low duck into just a high kick to knock one of these robots' heads off.
For sure.
That's a 15 to hit.
15 is going to. What's the damage rate?
The damage rate is 21.
It will actually succeed on the damage rate.
So God, Rin is not good at kicking.
No,
That's what
we've
we've
learned
learned.
Every session.
And then I'm gonna extra effort and spend the hero point this time to, as the foot connects, she basically wants to rebound into an axe kick through another robot.
Nice.
That's only a 7 to hit.
7 will not hit as the robot just sort of.
She just hits the ground
yeah.
on that one. She's
I
like,
mean, that ground is obliterated.
Mm-hmm.
shit.
But yeah, you unfortunately do not hit with that. And we're gonna move from Rin to Virgil's not in the initiative to Robin and then robots.
Okay, so I'm no longer being grabbed. I do have
Correct.
one wound.
Yeah.
And there's a blender.
Like it's going between Ice Crush and Smoothie. It's gonna get you.
It's a bone blender.
to tweet that really
Grab and just smash it.
So you'd like to make a grab attempt versus a Splendor? That is an opposed strength check.
Just call it an attack, because you're trying to smash it, right?
Yeah.
Because grabs you have to hit, and then you have to grab, and...
Yeah, I just wanna attack it.
Yeah, flavor is a grab.
No.
If it hit, okay.
I lied. I want to instead use my move. How far am I from Kurt?
From Kurt,
Yeah.
You can get there with your move action.
Cool. So I want to move to Kurt, and I would like to.
Yep. Why worry about the blender? It can't get you.
I want to try to afflict him with my density thing in order to, like, immobilize him.
Cool. So you have to roll a hit.
Yes. It's a touch attack, damaging with the affliction. So it's at a +4 right now. The 16.
16 hits a paralyzed target.
Excellent. So he has a DC 15 fort resist.
He is going to fail that by 1 degree.
Okay, so he is fatigued.
1 second. By 2 degrees.
Okay, so then he is prone.
So Kurt falls to the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. After Robin, we move to the robots. The blender is menacing as it on its own hops off the counter and shatters. Trying to get you.
Fucking do it.
I love it!
The oven's destroyed.
I want a shirt with that blender on it.
That blender is the BBEG, guys.
It'll be back.
The toaster, you just hear it load up again, and the crock pot is gonna come at you, and it's gonna like try and get you with its prongs.
Oh, the prongs of the fucking... Oh, the power cord.
Yep. It's not plugged in. And your... where'd you go? Your parry's not enough. So go ahead and make me a toughness check.
Cool.
You have a +9, so you're probably fine.
That's a nat 20.
34 is fine.
Yep.
Yeah, as you just casually like it comes at you and you're like, what the fuck? You just sort of bat it away.
GTFO.
That's the toaster, that's the crock pot. 2 robots and a flyer on Rin. And then the flyer that was on Kurt's. Well, the flyers don't go yet. So 2 robots on Rin.
DC 14.
Yep. It's gonna be 1 hit.
Oh.
And then you're gonna make a toughness DC.
Oh, okay, that's a 19.
Yeah. So you and the robots are trading blows and not doing damage at this point. Yeah, it's this big little brawl. Big little brawl. The name of my kitchen appliance band.
Yeah.
And we move from the robots to Isaac.
Okay. Real quick, roll call. He's got 3 on him.
Yes.
Rin. She's not being assailed.
Nope. Correct.
We have
Except
like
like Kurt shooting lightning.
we have the toaster.
We have the crockpot, and then we have one that is around Kurt, but not compressing him right now.
Okay. Within the
Actually, he fell prone, so it's like over where he was.
Wow.
Oh. Okay.
Interesting.
Bleh.
Like it didn't catch him or anything.
Okay. All right. I want to take care of the ring that was around Kurt.
Okay.
Is it possible to multi-attack the crockpot on the way over?
No, the crockpot's got a bit of reach.
Okay.
This is just obscene.
Absurd. It's absurd.
Then
Not obscene.
Then within the cooking crew,
The toaster is remaining.
the toaster's remaining. What things were being cooked that might still be in the area?
Rin, what was being cooked?
Today,
Just
since
one
there were
thing on
so
the
many
fly.
people, it was something you could make very quickly and a lot of. So it was things like pancakes, brownies, cupcakes.
Pancakes, brownies, cupcakes, eggs. That's it.
Waffles. There's a waffle iron.
Okay.
Breakfast food.
Okay.
Easy breakfast food.
Okay, nuts. Because I was gonna see
There
if
were
I
nuts too.
if I could do something cold, then I could be like dip the hands in real quick to be able to like not be overheated when I go after the thing again.
You can just turn the sink on.
So in case.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna.
Only
No,
we had
that's
someone with
that's
snow
absolutely
powers.
flavor. That'll help. That
Who didn't get assaulted by a crock
that will
pot.
absolutely help you nullify the damage.
Then I'm gonna make
The
this.
flaw of the robots, they're weak to water.
Make this.
The flaw of Terrence, weak to lids.
And
Make-
a week to crock pots.
Make this as a slam attack to get more damage rank.
Yeah, for sure.
21 to hit.
21 is gonna hit. Go ahead.
Okay.
And what's its
DC's 18.
In that 20.
Cool.
As you slam into it, and it just rolls with the momentum because it's a ring.
Grab is for 7.
It succeeds on that as well.
Cool. My turn's over.
Okay, after Isaac, we move to the Flyers. There's 2 remaining. One of them at Rin.
Hey, buddy.
It's gonna go ahead and just, it floats up, and it's just gonna mimic your axe kick.
Fuck.
That's gonna hit. Go ahead and make me a toughness.
Fuck.
Because it makes a slam attack as well.
Oh, that's only a 10.
You're gonna take 2 wounds. And you know what comes with 2 wounds, yeah?
A wound and dazed.
Yeah, effectively. A 1 wound and dazed. Because you never take more than 1 wound.
Correct.
Yeah. But 2 wounds is shorthand, and it makes sense. Yep, and then we've got the one that is now tussling with you. It's gonna go ahead and try and grab you. Good Sir Isaac.
I resist with dodge.
Okay.
18.
Nice.
And what allows you to resist with dodge, just so
Grabs.
we're clear?
Grabs.
Yep, it can be dodge or strength.
And he has to hit first, and then gets the grab attempt. I believe that's the rules. You have to hit with an unarmed first, and then make the grab attempt afterward.
So
There is a grab power, though.
Yeah.
I know about that.
This isn't the grab power. I'm just, do the grab rules allow you to try and dodge as opposed to parry?
So
because most things will target alternate resistances.
Okay, so first of all, if you're talking about getting hit, then
Yes.
that's against parry.
That is what I was checking.
Okay,
because
so
it has to connect to grab.
Yeah, it has to pass a DC 20 to make the hit first, and then my attempt to resist it.
Okay,
is
you were
an
just
18
rolling
afterward.
in it. You were rolling in it. Okay, ahead of time. It didn't hit you.
Okay,
but you were rolling ahead of time, and that's what confused me. I was like, what?
Okay.
That's okay. That's just something that we have cleared up now. And the one just actually kicked in, and then from the ground, you just touched him.
Mm-hmm.
His hand darts up, and he's just gonna try and touch you. Your parry is 1. 12 beats 11. So it touches you, and I need you to make a fortitude save.
This is just a raw roll.
3.
3.
Robin, you are paralyzed, which is defenseless, immobile, and physically stunned.
Cool.
Kurt is not, as this entity enters you.
Ooh.
That is
Oh!
its standard. And then as its move, it is going to... Now, when I say you are immobilized, I mean your body. It cannot move while it's in you, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it can move parts of you.
I'm feeling so many feelings, and
And-
all of them are terrible.
What it's going to do is, like, just... You're wearing your jacket, right?
Yeah.
Like the regular hooded one?
Yeah.
It's just going to pull the hood up.
That's rude.
That's all it can do with its move.
It's gonna pop your collar so you look like a douchebag.
That's its turn.
That way we
It's
have to
moving
fight
You
your
move up to
sight.
Kurt, who now has freedom. And Kurt is going to take a second. What in God's name? And then he's going to grab that little screwdriver, and he's going to try and jam it at the ring that you and him are tussling with. And miss.
Kurt, you're having a rough day.
Yeah.
You're pulling an Aries.
Yeah. It was his move to stand up from prone and that. So we're going to move to Allie.
I hear the heartbeat shift from one of my
Oh, yeah.
classmates to the other one. All right, I'm gonna try awaken stamina on it then.
On it or on me?
On the extra heartbeat that I hear.
Okay.
Ooh. Then technically that, I've been running the numbers in my head, that's 10, 11.
11 is not going to cut it.
Yeah, nope, I figured.
Well, the weaken, do you have to hit with your weaken?
I have a +6 attack to it, so I must.
Okay.
Like,
Yes, your weekend does have to connect. You
So
have
I
to.
still have to make
It
it.
does actually
Yes.
connect.
Yes.
Oh,
it's-
hey!
Oh, okay. Then it's a DC 14 fort save.
They rolled a 14, so
Okay.
1 degree of failure then, because ties don't go to defender.
For weekend specifically, they do.
So
because
You just have to meet the DC.
Okay, so they succeed on this, but you feel like somewhere in the transfer between people, they let their guard down, and you had that opportunity, and you almost got it.
Okay.
You can definitely tell though you are targeting a separate entity. It is not your friends when you're trying to hit them with this. They will not be afflicted.
Awesome, sweet. I'm watching you.
You still have a move action.
I mean, if I can hear it from... I'm just going to be like... I'm going to stay within my hearing range.
Yeah.
So I can keep... So I'm within, like, just the 90 feet, but I still want to be... I mean, this ceiling's not even that high. So I'm just going to be, like,
okay.
over.
You're just sticking up. Rin,
I'm gonna
your action.
stay. Yeah.
So, first I heal that wound.
Yep.
Actually, dazed supersedes wounds and healing.
Mm-hmm. So you remove dazed.
I'm still wounded, but I'm no longer dazed.
Correct.
As basically, it axe kicks me, and then I use that momentum to try and basically bicycle kick it.
Yeah. This is so cool.
I don't have arms!
You just healed.
Yeah.
You healed the daze.
That's a critical hit!
That's gonna hit. And it is gonna fail its toughness check.
Very nice. So I bicycle kick it into oblivion, and as I land, I just and throw an elbow to the side.
And it's not even a full arm, it's a nubby elbow.
It's more of a shoulder than an elbow. That is a 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Ooh.
Take that down.
Damage rank?
21.
It is going to fail.
Since she throws herself through that robot, basically, and then planting her feet on where its legs were, she's going to launch herself like a torpedo into the final one.
Nice.
The flyer? Yeah.
Yeah. No, she bicycle kicked the flyer.
Right.
She basically just used its own momentum against it, and now she's bouncing off of one robot into the other with a... Are we going to count it, or is it an edge?
Reroll it. I can't see it,
It's
so
on the
reroll
edge. It looked real good, though.
It's still an 18.
Yeah.
18's gonna hit.
Let's go,
It
Rin.
fails its toughness check.
And she...
As Rin, without arms, just summarily dispatches these 3 robots.
And she basically skids to a halt, and since I have takedown, I can still leap at the ring that's fighting those two. And she just... and launches herself in that direction while it's fighting those two. It's just like one of those Shaolin soccer kicks that's coming through, and she's aiming to just obliterate this thing. 14 to hit?
That hits.
14 hits! 21!
It rolled a nat 1.
So, those two are basically... Kurt failed so much because his screwdriver was coming in, and Rin just torpedoes off the horizon, just like, fuck these toasters!
Fuck these toasters needs to be on a shirt.
And then skids to a halt, turns towards the crockpot. But since I moved through leaping, I am legally out of movement.
Turn around shifts to Robin. Robin, you are welcome to make a fortitude save to try and move your body, or a will save to try and make some sort of physical or vocal effort.
Damn, you are so fucking cool.
Well, actually, you don't have to make a will save. You can still speak and see and think clearly. You are not possessed. Your body is fighting you.
Okay. So then I'm going to say, did they raise the dead? And then try to, I guess, I want to try to resist the thing.
Okay, make me a fortitude save.
Ooh, that's an 11.
11 is not going to succeed.
Better
on
than
this DC.
3.
Better than
Yeah.
3!
It's not going to succeed on this DC.
No.
As Robin, that is unfortunately going to be your full turn.
Yep.
We move to the dead robots, except for the crockpot. The crockpot and the toaster. They're what's left.
Come at me.
The toaster will. The toaster's going to shoot at you.
Where does it keep getting the knives?
It had multiple knives loaded. I don't know.
A drawer. It's loading one side at a time.
Yeah, it's using its little power cord to, and then because it has to pull its own thing, so it's it uses all of its actions to load up and pull.
Full ballista.
But these knives just come harmlessly twirling, and it loaded spoons instead by mistake.
And she just...
Gross.
Ow.
And then the crockpot is gonna hop forward. I love this fight. And it is going to go ahead and I've got everyone over there, but they just saw Rin do some stuff. So it's gonna try and like smack you. Like its prongs are coming for your eyes.
Try me, you motherfucker.
But it rolls a 5. So no matter what, his bonuses and misses.
Grabs the cord with her teeth and is like, better than spoons.
And like you do that, and it steams in response like a hiss.
I steam back.
And that moves us from the remaining robot crew to Isaac.
Did you do your homework?
Yes.
I roll to trip Robin.
Yep. What did you?
Oh.
I know
16
I got
to
it
hit.
wrong.
What did you say to hit?
16 to hit.
I
That's
was
gonna hit.
dumb in the moment.
Make an athletics check, DC 23.
She is physically
I'm physically
stunned,
unable.
so fails.
Now she's on the ground.
Yep, you're tripped.
Cool.
Rin hears that yes, and it's like fucking rabbit ear. She's like,
Somebody wake Terrence up.
We move to the flyers, which are gone, and then we move to that.
Or was I smart in the moment?
You'll never know. And you're on the ground, and you feel your fingers just twitch in front of you and touch the ground, the metal ground of aluminum that this auditorium is made of.
No. I'm mad.
Afraid. I'm so afraid of
I'm
all the
so
things that are
mad.
happening.
Are we gonna sink? Are we gonna float?
We're all gonna get
No.
electrocuted, except you because you're in the air. Poor Terrence.
This is not his. Well, look, his brother got a cracked skull. It's only fair.
We're evening it out.
Yep. Everyone, go ahead and make me. Let's call this a. God, I don't know what defense to justify. It's not fortitude. Reflex. Everyone, make me dodge. Everyone, make me a dodge check.
16.
DC 18.
Does that include me?
No, you're good.
Okay, I just wanted to be certain in case it was like
It does not
going
affect
through.
you.
Oh, cool.
I got
That's
a 12.
nice.
Fail.
By how many degrees, guys? 18 was
2.
DC.
Just one.
Okay. Rin, you are immobilized. And Isaac, you were already hindered. And that doesn't change. As this pulse just. And then it also theoretically hit Kurt, who yes, because this is dodgy.
Yeah.
He succeeds. He like hops off the floor, just a quick bunny hop. And then you make a fortitude save.
16.
Okay, you feel this current try and ride up into you, but it can't get through your body's natural metabolism. And you are no longer paralyzed, as rebounding out of the floor and landing, surge.
I do it.
Her hair is wild, electric, static, running through it. She is wearing basically nothing, because that's how she had to escape. But we're not going to go into the details, because this is not
She's
that kind of
wearing
game.
enough.
I mean, canonically nothing, but whatever. We hand wave that.
By anime standards, it's all obscured.
Yeah, it's all obscured. And, like, her head's twitching and her fingers are, like, she's like, I haven't ridden that high in a long time. Virgil was a great host. And we move up to the top of initiative, which is Kurt. Kurt is going to be like, that's my tech, you bitch.
Oh,
And he's going to grab the scraps around him and fashion a fucking net gun
Yeah.
and try and shoot her with it. And hit.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's got to make the save, but
I'm
she
so
nat
happy
20s.
for Kurt.
The net gun comes in, and she, like, grabs it and shocks the metal, like, snares so hard that the temperature just burns this net to a crisp. She's like, nice try! And turn order shifts to Allie.
Well, this time I am gonna go for affliction.
Oh yeah, get her.
I'll see you now. 7 plus 8 is a 15.
15 will not hit. She is no longer immobile.
That leaves you with a move action.
I would like to stay in the air and not touch Wabluminum. Thank you.
Aluminum.
That's a good strategy, I must
Okay,
admit.
and then turn order shifts from Allie to Rin.
So no regeneration this turn, but this bitch is right next to me.
No.
What? Damn it.
That was my flavor. Sorry, I should have been more clear. She, like, hopped out and sort of bounced into, like, the center of the auditorium.
Okay.
No one is adjacent to her.
Is the crockpot adjacent to me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit her with a crock pot.
Kick the crock pot at her.
Fuck yeah, I am. I'm immobile, but I'm not stunned, bitch.
Correct.
Rin, it's this very pained, like, she's clearly gritting her teeth very hard as she moves through the electrical currents, and just with one very swift muscle spasm, she goes to kick that whole crockpot at her.
Yeah, so roll to hit the crock pot, and then
That's a 14 to hit.
14's gonna hit the crock pot. And then I'm gonna have her make a dodge check versus now make a ranged attack roll. She's not making a dodge check, it's just versus her dodge.
And then that's a 14 as well.
14 is not gonna hit. As like the crockpot comes in and she like sees it, watches it fly past, grabs the cord and just like skids it around and throws it to the other side of the auditorium. The crockpot's still an active combatant, but it's now on the other side of the room.
And that's the end of Rin's turn because I'm immobile as fuck.
Robin, it is your turn.
Okay.
Is there a certain amount of time that lasts?
It depreciates to hindered now.
Are there still the platforms
Yes,
up top?
the platforms are still floating.
Cool. Then I would like to grab a handful of silverware and then kick up to a platform.
For sure, that'll be your turn.
Yep.
I know what you're gonna do, and I love it. After Robin, the robots are all defeated, except for the crockpot, who's gonna get up from prone, and then it'll get to you guys next turn.
Damn.
Turn order shifts to
cute
Isaac.
at this point.
It's a little bit of a champion. Like,
It's the little crockpot that could.
Yeah.
I have to say thank you. Takes off the outer shirt. His wetsuit on underneath. Looking forward to fighting a real villain.
Oh my goodness. Isaac,
Isaac goes superhero.
fall towards her.
Slam attack?
This is going to be a accurate unarmed with BS.
Okay, yeah.
Basically just the normal BS.
Yeah.
So 27 to hit.
27 hits by 2 degrees.
Okay.
Yes.
So then that's going to be a DC 13 toughness check.
She does succeed that.
Okay. Get that off the edge. Okay, 15 on the grab, resisted by dodge or strength.
She resists with dodge.
Successfully?
Yes.
My turn's over.
As you come in and you get hands on her, but she's just like she moves with the erraticism of the currents in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And after Isaac, we move to the flyers, which are no longer, and then we move to her. And she's gonna look at you and she's like, "Oh, you want to play? Fine." And she's going to like her hands, and she's gonna try and make her close combat attack against you, which is.
I was like, not again.
She will exceed your parry by 1. She got a 21. So make me a toughness check. DC 21.
Okay. I rolled a 16. I think that's 2 degrees. of failure?
It is 1 degree.
Okay, 1 degree of failure.
I'm pretty sure.
Do you want me to double check or are we going to say 1 degree?
I'm gonna say 1 degree.
Cool. I'll take a 1 degree.
Me.
Yep, so will I. As you feel that current pulse through you, suffering 1 more wound, and she's like, guess I'll have to try a little harder.
Just keep your eyes on me.
And turn order shifts to Kurt, who is going to scrap his net gun into something. I'll think about it. Allie, what are you up to? Building Kurt was the weirdest thing, because technically he's built with, like, the shapeshift powers. Because there's no other way for me to justify his...
Shapeshift other, essentially.
Yes.
I'm just gonna go for Affliction again, because if I can get her, that's gonna be my
Do it.
strongest.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Nope.
I'm sorry.
I've seen
What was the total?
quite a few.
I rolled lower than I did last time.
I was going to flavor it, but absolutely that's totally fine. Rin?
A blood is...
Unless you wanted to use a movement action.
I have nowhere I'm moving to.
Rin is going to leap over Isaac, essentially, using him as not necessarily a hurdle, but she 100% just leaps straight up. And she was like, well, it worked once in midair. Just do the flip into the bicycle axe kick to try and come down on this fucker's head.
Yeah, you're rolling versus
Natural 20.
Okay, would you like to add 5 to the effect rank, or add an alternate effect, or throw in a status effect? Because it's a hit.
It is a hit. I would love to flavor it, but in this moment, I think Rin is just trying to punch this woman as hard as she physically can. And she can't, so she's just doing it all with her legs. So I'll add 5 to the effect rank, so that's a 26.
That is 3 degrees of failure.
Nice!
So she's not out for the count, but she is... Staggered. So she's getting just 1 on her turn.
Staggered is something else.
Staggered characters dazed and hindered.
Dazed and hindered. So 1 action and moves at -1 speed. Okay. That's Rin.
Nice.
After Rin, we move to Robin.
Yeah.
You have your full body back.
I do.
Immediate fade.
And I am going to throne mastery attempt to toss
Yeah!
the
Yeah.
black
Hyper dense knives.
hyperdense knives.
Cool, you're rolling versus her dodge.
Mm-hmm. That's a 15.
15 will not exceed her dodge, unfortunately.
She's a slippery
She's
little
a slippery
electric
one.
eel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else for your action? You still have your move.
I'm currently not somewhere she's going to electrocute me,
Sure
so
thing.
that's making me
Isaac?
happy.
As knives are being rained down on her.
Accurate unarmed.
Sure.
27.
27 hits by 2 degrees.
Okay. Then it is a DC 13, I think. I might have my.
She will exceed on that.
Okay. Grab is a 24 and nat 20 on it.
So 29.
29?
She fails by 4 degrees.
Okay.
On the grab.
She is then bound.
Mhm.
And move object queues up with a 22.
22 versus.
What's her strength?
Yeah. Yes, against the move object.
She has a strength of +0, so you succeed.
Okay.
Pile driver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do I have to be worried about I will actually kill
No.
people by dropping them from 80 feet?
No, not at all.
You'll just rock lead them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she makes a toughness check versus the damage rank?
I guess damage is going to be, we said it was distance rank of 2, so it will be 23 on the toughness check.
She fails by 4 degrees.
Oof.
As you
That is crunched.
knock her out cold. And, like, in the crater that remains, she's unconscious, but her smile is still
So
twitching.
for choreography wise, Rin drops the axe kick, her head snaps down, it snaps back up, and 2 arms shoot up from behind her
Yeah,
without the hands
for
touching
sure.
to just use the wetsuit, and yep, the Rock Lee.
The Rock Lee Primary Lotus. As you take out Surge, your first official villain. V-Arcade is something else entirely. More of a situation than an encounter. And Surge, like I said, she's on the ground but still twitching and like smiling, and every now and then
Kurt, we need something to make sure that she can't get out.
Yep, and then he drops an iron, like, I say iron in its appearance, but he's like, well,
Metallic.
I took all of the metal out of my invention, and I was left with nothing. So I thought, I need to build something that is electric, and Isaac, if you could hand me part of your wetsuit.
Rin just
Pick.
He takes that, and you watch as he balls that up and just sort of basically rubberizes the inside of this little grid he's made and make sure none of the metal is touching her. He's like, and he takes that rope that was left from the net gun and like kind of reaches in and binds her hands behind her back. And then he lifts her up gently. If someone could put something non-conductive underneath her.
I need my outer shirt now.
Yeah, you're a little cold. You can get that repaired.
I'll buy you a new one. Good job.
And then Terrence just
Yeah, that actually wouldn't hurt. She doesn't have arms right now. That'd be like a normal human fist bump.
as
Terrence, are you okay?
Rin's going to kind of pick him up and oh, she can't.
she motions. She tries to though.
She's like,
Okay, are you fine? How many fingers am I holding up?
4, 3 if you don't count the thumb.
Good, okay. You're probably not, well, I mean, you were concussed. This is, the fuck are the teachers?
Was that a crock pot?
It's specifically the lid.
And then you hear the electric lock that was keeping the doors go out. And the doors open and faculty floods in. And
We're still in school
like
grounds, we're
Virgil,
letting them
despite
noise.
hobbling, is absolutely at the front. And he's like, and he moves over, and it's like he lifts his cane for a second and just plants it next to Surge's head. I'm sorry. Like it wasn't a menace. It was just that anime scene where you see her in the cage in the head, and this is not okay. This is not okay, and this is my fault.
if it's any consolation, this is probably going to send a hell of a message. If you're going to attack us, you better try a lot Harder.
Oh. And then Panacea comes in. She's like, "Should I?"
Terrence probably needs.
Panacea touches you, and your muscles explode.
Ah!
And goes over to Terrence, who in the background you just hear.
Rin just like falling over in every direction, like, why does that hurt so bad?
Because you're not the one controlling it.
I'm forcing your body to do all of the recovery at once.
Just screaming.
And like you see students being held back by like 3 duplexes at the door, like trying to like get in, and it's relayed to you that the moment everyone got out, the doors like an electric charge went through and magnetized them, so they could not be opened. No.
He's the mole.
But like as they're holding students back, like Ryan comes up and he's like, "Are you guys okay?"
Yeah.
I'm fine.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. I wasn't just attacked.
I mean,
And then Virgil's like, Ryan, get out there.
Oh my god! He just walked past.
Yo.
Thank you for worrying, though.
Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. And he walks back.
Rin looks over and is like, who are we just talking to?
I feel like someone checked on us.
I feel
And then like
comforted.
another 3 duplexes come in and take the sealed, caged rubber containment that is Surge, and they're taking the villain out and like through the other door and away.
Electric currents.
Whew. She said it to my face, and I didn't think it. I was thinking about it outside, and her words were, "I could get through any electric current, even as small as a heartbeat."
She couldn't get to mine.
Thankfully. I'm glad that she didn't decide to just kill any of you.
The question is why.
It's more
I think
fun when you get out to just play.
But
and
why?
like in the distance you hear that sick laughter that she had.
But if the thing that you want more than anything is freedom, why did she not just
Maybe she didn't want freedom.
Freedom to her is probably fighting.
freedom to use her power? That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it down.
Again, good job.
All of
Hands
you.
back.
Yeah. Whatever happened in here, good job.
Her mistake. She didn't bring backup. Heroes win because we fight together.
Well, she brought a lot of
And
backup.
he looks at all the shattered robots and like the crock pot finally hobbles up and he's like, "What the fuck?" And he like punts the crock pot.
No, but he's so cute.
And then the crock that's the last of the power of the crock pot's gonna.
I did
And
the same thing.
He looks over the kitchen area and he's like, "Oh."
Luckily, the fridge didn't come alive.
Robin got menaced by a blender.
And a stove.
And Terrence's like, "I think I got knocked out by a crock pot."
By
You
the
did,
lid.
buddy. You did.
Cracked you in the temple.
And Panacea's already gotten to him, right?
Yeah.
But even so, Rin kind of like rips off a sleeve and is like, "Can you make some snow in this?"
Okay. Oh yeah, that's. Okay.
There you go. Do you want me to walk you to your room?
Hold on.
You can't go in the boys' store.
I'll get him as far as I can.
Like freezes, like snow all over, and he's like,
Snowman.
I want
and
to.
he shimmies
That
it
might
off.
be a name.
Go ahead.
I think we can't go back quite yet.
No, it's
Do you want to sit down? Let's sit down.
He sits in the bank of snow underneath him.
I sit near the bank of snow and I offer him a smoothie.
Thanks.
This is a nutritious smoothie.
Which means it tastes like something.
It has a flavor.
Yep.
And then Rin pulls one of her own smoothies
Yeah.
from behind the belt.
As opposed to one from the cafeteria, which is what you gave him, I'm guessing. That has an actual flavor. I
I
think
want to walk back to the building crowd that's been trying to push their way and is being
they're
held
not,
up by
they're not
Duplex,
pushing, they're just sort of like looking, and Duplex is blocking the view.
and hover up.
Yeah, Duplex is a little too distracted to notice, and Virgil is like, there's too much for a little hobble man to handle.
Everything's gonna be okay. We took care of it.
And
You're all
Duplex
safe.
promptly, one arm on either of your shoulders, pushes you back down.
Rin from the ground just...
Did I do it okay?
You're on a zillion phones
Like you
now.
get push down, but like from Duplex, you're good job, kid. Now shut up.
That's how we do it, right?
Yes, now shut up.
Okay.
And like the Duplexes, once they got you down, they're fluffing up their hair to obscure even more because I've always described her as having this crazy ponytail, and she's just like fluffing it up and like making a barricade. Someone give me a hero point for that.
I don't have any to give.
I just gave myself 2 because I'm the DM and I can do what I want.
You have all of our spending time, actually.
I think we spent them all.
Which is what I wanted.
Very nice.
And we could do some of the Fallout, but I'd like to open on that because that gives us a good starting point next session.
Okay.
If everyone's okay with that, that's where I am going to call the session.
Okay.
Unless there's some final moment someone wanted to do. Okay. Because then we don't have to roleplay being escorted out, reported to the police, etc., etc. 3 for 3 so far.
And we've won every time.
Yep.
Hello, police officer.
We walk in and we're like, good to see you guys.
Do you have the really good jelly donuts or the ones from the shop down the street?
They
those
might not
aren't
have
as
donuts.
nice.
They could have any number of
you guys
things.
like, can you send more villains? We want more donuts. We want more complimentary donuts. So that will wrap our session for New Dawn as the party has handled Surge, their first official villain. V-Arcade, again, was more of an environment than a villain. And there was villainy at play, but V-Arcade escaped. However, Surge has been imprisoned and captured and will be returned to DD whatever. I gave that a complicated name.
DD cell block or something.
DD turn a block.
Yeah.
DD turn a block. And we will pick up next session at the beginning of the fallout and after effects of this villain attack.
And next year.
And next year when we move into the new year, because this is this our last session this year?
Because I don't know if we're playing next Wednesday, the 24th.
Then this is our last session for the year. So anyone who tuned in, thank you very much for choosing to spend that with us, past, present, or future. And if you're from the future, you're in a really cool place. If you're from the past, what? We appreciate you coming to our table. It is always a blast to share this with not only you, but anyone out there, the social media, blap, blap, blap. Thank you for tuning in, and welcome to our table. Have a nice night.
Bye.